right? And so I need her to, like, deal with all of the little brains. Because other than that, I'm, like, the AoE, I guess. Right? Ugh. I mean, I could fully reclass... I could reclass her to be a Storm Sorcerer. I could reclass Karlach to be a Storm Sorcerer. I could do that instead. Would that be weird? I feel like then she could be a caster and do the AoE. I'm not opposed to that. I should have loaded the game in. That's okay. Alright, the YouTube streams are theoretically on. Watch out! They're coming. Unexpected playback error. Not know what that means. Minion, welcome in. Hello. Our Minion was lurking before. There we go. I refreshed. It was fine. Wait, where's your YouTube chat? Hang on. It's not there. That's weird. Oh well. All right. We gotta loot the keep, and then I wanna see if I can find the zombie Mystic Carrion and find the Thrumbo. I think I'm looking for, right? Maybe I'll respec Karlach to be a Storm Sorcerer, because then I could bring her to the final battle. And then I just move all of Jaheira's equipment onto her. That would be interesting. Alright, let's loot everything. Whoa, oh. We gotta go up to top, too. Also, let me know if I'm experiencing... it didn't really drop any frames, so let me know if the stream is being a little bit silly goofy. We've looted Gortash. We gotta loot all these guys. Oh, we're gonna have so much to sell. Who has inventory space? We're all pretty tapped out. I'm gonna send these to camp. These are really heavy. My girlfriend. Yeah, I think maybe... I didn't think about that. I think I'll respec her Storm Sorcerer.
What have we here?
We'll just sell everything to Volo. Astral Prism Heist.
If you are sure.
All three of the ancient sources agreed that the astral prism was in the hands of the Githyanki Lich Queen Vlaakith. Thus, the plan to send a tadpole strike team in a regrown nautiloid, piloted by the Emperor, to steal the astral prism from Vlaakith. So, this confirms that the Emperor is... This confirms that the Emperor is on at least the nautiloid that we are on in the opening sequence. And so the Dark Urge is canon tadpoled by Orin. But if you're Tav, I think you're tadpoled by the Emperor. But when the Emperor gets a hold of the Astral Prism, that's when he breaks free from the influence. Because the Emperor says he broke free of the influence, but he really didn't. Hi, Tiny Shiny, that's such a cute username. Tiny Shiny Chainsaw, welcome in. Where to put in the Astral Prism and the Ventures who took it after theft from Blackfifth. The adventurers who took it after its theft from Blackfifth. And when to admit considering taking them as new allies. Interesting. I wish you could confront the Emperor on his lies. Like, if you read something, I wish you could say, like,
the way is clear.
Man, this man leaves his thoughts and feelings everywhere. This is just to say, journaling isn't perfect therapy, because look how terrible Gortash was, and he did a ton of journaling. Interesting. Okay, what else do I want to read? Moonin, welcome in! Hello! The Stelmane connection. That's him finding out. Knights of the Shield report.
Interesting.
Man, I like that hat. Welcome in, everybody. We're just cleaning up. It's gonna be a pretty chill day today. And then, oh yeah, I'm gonna set a timer. Oh, another set of bracers? Your unarmed attacks deal additional 1 to 4 force damage. Listen, there are too many good bracers. Like, you could deck out, well, you wouldn't have enough of the robes, but you could have, like, 2 really decked out not rogues, 2 really decked out monks. Why do they have so many bracers for monks? How many times have you played Baldur's Gate? This is my 3rd time. My 3rd time in Act 3? 4th time? This will be my 3rd completion, though, for sure. This will be my 3rd completion. And I'm still discovering things, for sure. I love that he canonically has a twin bed.
Do not rush me.
I'm not going to, babe. Don't you worry. 25! Damn. No! 24. We'll roll again. I'm on my way to a friend's place to play games. Watching you stream on the... Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I hope you have headphones in. Do you have headphones in? Because I'm about to say a bunch of words. No, I'm kidding. I won't. Helldusk boots. You cannot be forcibly moved. You ignore difficult terrain. Fail a saving throw. You can use a reaction to succeed instead. Interesting. And a tadpole. Accelerated grand design. Man. Gortash, you write down too much shit. Oh, look at that little detail of the candles dripping down. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you have a big turquoise headset. All right, what's that flower pot doing up there? I was just gonna say, listen, it's, can I get up there? Probably not. It's risky. Again, I still wish we could confront, the Emperor about his shortcomings. Also, we've never gone to the Emperor's hideout either. How do you do this without activating the traps? Okay, so this room, you can see I've destroyed the traps. The traps have been destroyed. And this room, the fight's already over. So the traps don't activate when the fight's over, I think. But this room, so basically I lured them. As you can see, they were coming towards this room, and I deactivated this room for traps. It was unbelievably easy. I was shocked about how easy it was. I don't know if I need to disarm these, if I'm being completely honest. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Right! Smoke powder! I'll send these to camp. We'll be selling these later. I think I'm gonna respec Karlach, so that way she can become an illithid. She'll have a heart, kind of. I don't know the biology. I think I'm gonna respec her. I'll try that next time. It worked out unbelievably well. Unbelievably well. How do I pronounce your username? Welcome in. Hello. Hi on YouTube. Look at this. Look at this game. Game of the year. Game of the fucking year for sure. So pretty. I don't know if there's any game of the decades, but I'd nominate it. We gotta go up top, because there's a bunch of loot up top for sure. Hey, I'll always take more bombs, you know? Hey, maybe we can take this tent. So that way Halson can have a tent to sleep in. But welcome in. Let me know if you've played Baldur's Gate. How many playthroughs? I guess if I can't activate it, it's just a stun trap. It's fine. How many playthroughs have you guys completed? This is so cool. What's that? What? Where? Stash note. Oh, the chest was hidden. Listen up, dagger and ring out ought to be a good take. Still need to check what Bashki is hiding in that chest. Careful. Suspicions high over misplaced goods. Dagger. Music box. Hideous laughter. I feel like there's a plot there that I'm missing. You're on your third? Yeah, this is my first time honor mode and first time Durge. Dark Urge. You know what? It's fine. We're just gonna let us walk over it because the reason why it's scary is you get stunned in front of the steel watch. But they don't actually really do any damage. Is there anything this way? No. What is that quest? Oh, the blade. Oh, I know where it is. I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I want to do it. I don't really want to fight on sewer. My second was a Durge, and it was so much fun. I learned so much, for sure. Look at how much Minthara can leap. It's insane. I know you guys, I'll fly over, but... Just a torch? Come on, there should have been something up here. That's okay. I guess we jump back over here. Whee! Okay, passageway. Where does this passageway lead? You can get there. You can just jump down. No, I'm gonna forget about the upstairs. We gotta go all the way back around and we gotta get upstairs, which is this way. My first playthrough was a rogue. I did it, well, okay, so I started an on-stream and an off-stream playthrough. Like, the month that this came out, I lived, breathed, dreamed Baldur's Gate. And so I had an on-stream and an off-stream playthrough. My on-stream playthrough was a bard, and my off-stream was a rogue. And now, this has been the last one. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm still on patch 6, because this was pre-modded before the mod days. So. Okay. You know what? I love how I used to have to stack the barrels here. I'm just gonna jump over and let me fly. Oh, Gale can make the jump. We can all do it. Perfect. Is there anybody up here? Wait, why are they dead up here? Well, RIP. I'm waiting for final patch to download now. I'm trying to get this playthrough done because I'm on patch 6 and I just know that this would, if I updated, it would break my playthrough because it's pre-modded days and all that stuff. So I'm like, I just don't have. I didn't realize there was a chest over there. Reception failed. I knew greater invisibility was a spell. I knew it. I knew it! Oh my god. Oh. Okay, it's fine. We can be stunned. See, this is why the traps are there, because you get stunned in front of the steel watch. Yeah, you should save on those stuns, babe. Alright, I don't think that there's anything else up here. I would steal this tent for Halson if I could. I believe there's another stun here. What game is this? This is called Baldur's Gate 3. This is called Baldur's Gate 3. Well, actually, no. This is Baldur's Gay, actually. Because this is modded. Spoiler warning. Do you guys think I should fight Ansur? I don't know. Have we found Tara? I have so many questions. Baldur's Worm Max! Max, thank you for the super chat, the $2. Oh my gosh. Baldur's Worm. Ayo, Baldur's Worm 3. I mean, he's got tentacles, but no worm, you know what I'm saying? Spoiler warning. There's the tribute to Bane. I thought there was more up here. What's up this way? Are you in a squad? I am not! I'm all alone. This is my solo playthrough. This is my... I don't know if I've ever been up here before. What is this? It's to shoot down a dragon! Or at least something in the sky? I think this... Listen, Baldur's Gate is a phenomenal game. It's a fun multiplayer game. I actually think Baldur's Gate is better to be played single player. You should play through single player first, and then other playthroughs afterwards should be multiplayer. But you miss out on a lot when you lose companions. Because if you play with 2 people, you only get 2 companions. You see there are people behind you. Oh, these are my companions. So these are like people that you can recruit in game. They're called Gale. Like there's different companions that you can recruit. And so when you play with 2 people, you only get like 1 companion each. You lose so much story. You lose so much story. So the very first playthrough you should do in Baldur's Gate is single player. True. Thank you, Ed. It's still a phenomenal game to play in multiplayer. There's nothing up here? What? I'm surprised these towers weren't used for anything either. Oh, heavy chest. There we go. There's gotta be like some arrows in here or some shit. Yeah. Not that I'm ever gonna use them. Damn. Wait! There's a chest there! I didn't go there. We'll have to go down there. Look at this game. Look at that. Wait, what is that? Oh, that's the keep that you... Oh my god, that's the keep that you... When you come into the game. And then you wind your way down. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that. What is that? Or is that... What is that over there? It's interesting that it's rendered. And then you have the boat. I'm excited for photo mode. And then that's the Baldur's Gate that we explore down there. You kind of go around. You go this way, and I think you go around the mountain. And that's the actual city of Baldur's Gate over there. Have you ever killed a dragon? Yep, in real life. In real life, I've killed a dragon. No, I've killed... if you're talking about in... There is a game... I'm debating whether or not to fight the dragon. I'm not really worried about losing the playthrough. I think I'd use a globe of invulnerability and absolutely wreck Ansuer. But I'm debating whether or not I even want to fight him. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to set an alarm for 3:45 so we don't miss the leaders debate. Because after we play Baldur's Gate, we're going to watch the Canadian leaders debate because I'm Canadian, we're having an election, and I want to watch it. And so I'm going to talk about it. Let's set an alarm for 3:45 p.m. so I don't miss it. I have beat the game, yes. I've beat it 3 times. Oh, there's a chat. Oh, we have to jump up there. I've never ever used an arrow of salving. Hi, Cave! Welcome in!
You
Cave,
need my
let's drop, poppin', and lockin'. I do need your expertise. I need you to jump up there. Use your little legs. Woo! Look at her go! That's crazy. Perception failed. I bet you this is trapped.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Don't judge me. I'm doing it. There you go.
By my oath.
Is there... I wonder if there's an ASMR mod that I can download when I update this game. Alright, disarm that trap, babe. You got it. Now we gotta lockpick it.
I only need a moment.
You got it, babe. Wall of ice. There's definitely a story up here, but I'm not... Whoa! What's down there? Hang on a minute. I can't say I've ever been down. Oh, that must be in the ballroom area. All right, how do we get there? It's fine. You can take the damage. This game is phenomenal. I would highly recommend playing this for sure. This game, I have like 600 hours in it. ASMR? Did I do ASMR? Did I put it in the stream title? Oops. We gotta jump down. We gotta jump down again. You guys can do this. Come on. Okay. Now we gotta go back in here. Listen, trigger warning, there's a lot of dead people. I see dead people. Oh, that's how I get over there. Oh, interesting. I feel like this is a fight setup as well. Like, we're set up to be able to fight up here. Which is interesting.
A simple task.
I don't think I've ever been out these doors. I'm just making sure I'm looting everything, that's all. Eye tracker's devious. I get in trouble. Listen! I don't know what you're talking about, Strange. Strange Taha? Welcome in. I don't know what you're talking about. It's for strategy. It's so everybody can see how strategic I am. Alright, trigger warning. Lots of dead people. Lots of dead bodies everywhere. I didn't do it. I actually didn't do it. I'm being completely so for real. Oh, passageway. I don't know if I... Oh, that's how you get there. No, I didn't want to close the door. I wanted to go through the door. Thank you. Interesting. I didn't know that that's how that works. Okay. Is there a passageway on this side? No, just that side. So you have to make your way all the way around. There's so many different ways to get up to the top. But where... How did we get... We saw those triangular things and there was like... Okay, what's out this door? Listen, I've gotten my fair money's worth out of this eye tracker, for sure. For sure. Is this the direction? We saw... Oh, barrels. We gotta... Listen, we gotta steal these oil barrels. Okay, we saw this. And then we were just over there. Right, how do we get to here? Where's that door? Steal.
Collected.
Oh my god. This game is... It's so incredible, the amount of decision-making you have. Yes, this game absolutely... The story changes based on your decisions. Absolutely. 100%. Oh, there's the door. I don't think I've ever actually explored it to this capacity. I'm in a romance with this one. Minthara. Why do you have 6 enchanted javelins? And you didn't use any of them. All the lords and ladies got absolutely murdered. Time to seize the wealth. Ooh, Zentrum. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to save the lords and ladies. There's people in Act 3, so there's different acts. I would say one playthrough takes probably, if you don't want to rush it, it takes at least 100 hours to get from the beginning to the end of the game. And depending on what you choose, there's different characters that show up. Sometimes you don't encounter them. The scope of this game is absolutely massive. What's your class? I'm a druid. I'm a druid. And I don't want to be wearing that. I want to be wearing my outfits. There we go. Ah, this is what we saw from above. I've never been over here before. Dragonborn. We're gonna have a lot to sell. Mine's about 200, 300, because I like to do everything strange. It's so, like, it's like frustrating how much stuff there is to do. I'm like, I don't really, I don't feel like the need. It's such a weird door. I feel like there should have been a door right here. I don't want to fight Answer because I don't think Will can become the blade in any capacity. I don't say I don't want to hear a goddamn word about my inventory. Okay? I don't want to hear a peep. You understand? Not a word. I know it's messy. One day, I feel like I am on the verge of finding something I've never found before. But who knows? Who knows? I've never been this thorough. You think she could jump over there? Did she make it? Path is interrupted. Path is interrupted. I have a thing that doubles her jump distance. Are you even playing the game? I know, if it's just a massive pile of stuff, yeah. You're right. Alright, well, your armor's worth a lot of money, so if you've got it, I'm gonna steal it. Oh, I think I've already looted these guys, never mind. I want to loot any bodyguards. No bodyguards? Dang. Is there anything on the chair? If I sit on the throne, does it have me say anything? I didn't do that, Ryan. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I just showed up. There's my girl. That's Minthara. She deserves everything in life. Okay. I don't want to fight Answer. I really don't. I really don't. We could go save Duke. We could go save Counselor Floric though. We could probably do it as a 3-person team if I'm being honest. We don't need Karlak. It's okay. Let's do it. Let's go downstairs. Listen, okay, I will own up to the murders that I did. I did these ones. I did murder those people. I did it. Alright. Hi! You're about to get absolutely decked. I hope you're ready.
You will break.
Thanks, Minthara. That's my girlfriend. The other bodies, listen, the Great Hall, I did do it. I actually have never... I don't know if you can save the lords and ladies. I'm not sure if there's a way to do it. I can't really be bothered to do it, either. Who's my favorite origin character? Oh, that's tough. I mean, like, favorite to romance versus favorite character is definitely a different answer. I think my favorite... well, it's not origin, but my favorite romance is Halsin, the person. Let me get my story straight. The person. But I think for an origin character, I really like Shadowheart for sure.
Wonder what's past this.
Oh, I don't want to lockpick it.
At your command.
How many hours? I have about 600. Well, there's a glitch in the counting, so it'd be between 600 and 700. All right, we're gonna go fight these people inside too. Hi.
Let me strike.
Lila Lo. If she jumps in, she could potentially knock them prone. Babe, you can't miss. You can't do that. You can't miss. There you go.
Come on, can't stay idle.
Can't stay idle. What am I gonna do as a spell? Let's see. I got it at 5th level. An insect plague? Sure. She might counterspell me. Yep. That's fine.
Ready for battle.
All right. Kaga? You wanna, oh my god. You wanna romance Kaga? That's crazy, Ryan. Listen, not for me, but I can't blame you. I can't blame you. Shadowheart storyline was very good. For me, it's probably Gale's. Honestly, I hate that you have to apologize to, okay. So, what's your thought, Strange, about, like, Gale's endgame options? I want to hear your opinions. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. You can take it, babe. I know you can. Minthara and she's my girlfriend. Backlash. Oh my god, that's a lot of healing. You know what I want to do? I know what I want to do. I can't believe I'm fighting this 3 people down. Oh, it's, of course, it's immune to prone. Okay. I'm gonna electrocute them, I think. If I make them wet, and then I move Minthara out. Let's do that. This bitch needs to stop fucking counterspelling. I'm pissed. Fine. Can I leap in the same spot? Here's what I'm gonna do. Disengage. Move away.
An advantage.
Jump back in. Oh, that's funny. Alright.
Nothing important is ever
This
easy.
bitch needs to chill the fuck out. But she used her counterspell, so now I will do my insect plague. Should I just focus it on Minthara? I think she... Is it a dex save? It's a constitution. I could hit her with a dex save. That's a con save. That's a dex save. What else is a dex save? I could do a wall of fire, because she takes no damage on... I'm sorry, Minthara. I'm sorry. I should do this at level 5, but I'm not going to. She's gonna take... Oh, Minthara did take a little bit of damage. That's okay. She's gonna be fine. I'll heal my girlfriend. It's gonna be fine. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Could you imagine? That was smart. Looks complicated. It is complicated. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons. Babe. Yeah. I was like, could you imagine I lose my playthrough here? That would be insane. We're gonna do a... Oh, we're not within range. We're gonna move closer. Babe, you can't miss. You can't miss like that.
I will not fail.
D&D is complicated for sure. I think Gale becoming a god is very bad for the realms. Good ending is probably where Mr. takes him back. So Strange, I hate that's okay, exactly that. I hate that Gale has to apologize to Mystra to not become a god. Because, so, when you have to take what Raphael says with a grain of salt, for sure. But Raphael basically insinuates, if Raphael is alive, I killed Raphael. Oops. But if Raphael is alive and Gale is a god, Raphael basically insinuates that you've doomed humanity. And you will do, and Gale, as the god of ambition, will do more damage to humanity than he ever could. Abs, welcome in. Oh my god.
Let me get a cup of coffee first.
Brain cell and caffeinate, for sure. I will caffeinate. Listen, they came at me, Your Honor. I had to kill them.
Advancing. Anything of value?
Booty. Grab that booty, Riz. There you go. But D&D is always complicated. Did you see? I was a little bit nervous there. Did you see? Like, I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, I can't lose my playthrough to, like, 4 dudes in a dungeon. Not like that, anyway. I think that's my second favorite one. My favorite one has to be pen, pineapple, apple, pen. Raphael is trying to twist a knife out of jealousy at that point. I don't think that's entirely true. I think, like, the point about Raphael is that he twists the truth. I think that comes out as a thing that he twists the truth. He's never blatantly lying. And so I feel like there is an element of truth to what he is saying. Not your favorite is a good one. Gale and his cat just chill and have an adventure sounds dope. But yeah, I hate that you have to apologize to Mystra. I don't like God Gale. And I hate that the only avenue to do that is to apologize to his... Let's be honest, straight. Like, I don't know if you've been on this side of TikTok before. Why is it dangerous down here? It shouldn't be. But, like... Gale, for all intents and purposes, was, like, essentially, like, groomed by Mystra. I hate that bitch. And so the fact that he has to apologize to her, I hate her. I know! She kept counterspelling me. I was pissed. I was like, this 40 HP bitch. She could have been on my side, but no. Let's face it, Gale's ego would not do well with godhood, but doomed humanity, I'm skeptical. Well, the problem is Gale himself doesn't cause the destruction, because Gale he's ambitious, but he has morals. Raphael's point was that humanity with unchecked ambition, it's like Gale, the god of ambition, rewarding humans with unchecked ambition is what dooms humanity. And, I mean, I kind of subscribe to that idea in real life. Unchecked ambition. So, I don't know. Is that a secret? No, that's not a secret. It looks like it would be, but it's not. Will you marry you? I mean, what could be more romantic than getting married to a complete stranger running off into the sunset? I mean, listen, we just met. That's quite forward. But that is my first marriage proposal in a little while, I will be honest. I appreciate the gumption, but that was some unchecked ambition right there. I think Mistra's intentions with Gil were good, but the way she went about it was bad. Well, the problem is the power dynamic, right? She went about it was bad. The issue with Gale being God was his ambition would lead to something like what would happen with the orb, but worse. I feel like there's a world where the inherently, like he's an arrogant man, an arrogant god, if he becomes a god, but then it's the unchecked... Oh, wait. Okay, this is what I mean by this game is insane. I've never seen this before. I was like, wait a minute, there's a suspicious wall here. That's fine. I can do force damage. Where did... I've never seen a TikTok. I've never seen a video of this before. This is an alternate way into... Whoa! Crack in the wall. You know what I'm saying? I love that the skeleton got out of jail, but didn't make it. Whoa! That's crazy! I've never known that before. So you can sneak into the prison. And you can sneak in upstairs as well. Thank you. I know, there's nothing like too crazy in here. But, I mean, it is a suspicious crack in the wall. Always
Right away.
look in the crack, you know what I'm saying? But, I would say, about Mistra, it's interesting, there's some interesting dialogue with, Minsk. Minsk alludes to the fact that they hide their... Like, Minsk was... there's a line that Minsk has talking about hiding their magically inclined male people from Mistra. It's interesting. I don't think she's inherently... I mean, like, there's been multiple Mistras over the years as well. So, I think some have been worse than others. There's one before her, right? Did we look at all these? I think I did. That's crazy! I've never seen that before. And then it, like, kind of, like, opened it, like, you can see the light glowing. Gotta be a cave diver and check those cracks, you know it. Let's do Baldur's Gate campaign and then get married in Baldur's Gate. I mean, there's been Minecraft marriages before, right? Alright, let's see if Flork is still alive. That's nuts. Thank you for the clip as well, Riz. I appreciate that. Gale's Riz is so strong, works on gods too. Yeah, I think, like, the problem is, though, is, like, I think she likes the power dynamic. This is maybe reading into a little too much, but, like, the unhealthy power dynamic between a god and a human, right?
I have it.
And he just, ultimately, he wasn't ambitious even for his own good. He was ambitious because he wanted to please her. He wanted, you know, like, it's interesting. Chemist Maddie, welcome in. At the very least, he was very much, I think he was at the very minimum manipulated. But, I don't like her. I don't like that bitch. I wish there was a mod where I could change her voice to Jennifer Coolidge, to be honest, because I think that would be hilarious. Alright. Is there anybody here in jail that I can let out? Jailbreak! I'm a couple decades too late for you there, buddy. Alright, is she alive? Hello? Oh, she's not here. Well, I wonder where she is. Yeah, she's dead. Exclamation mark, dead. I think this is where I get put if I get put in jail, alright? There's gotta be something on the other side of here. No, there isn't. Okay. There is some... Oh, that's, Ansur. I don't really want to do Ansur, if I'm being completely honest. Mistra's the main reason that he wanted the orb. Yeah. She kind of set him on that path unintentionally. Oh. Auto-Ot. Hey, man. You're free.
What do you want?
I don't know what you did, but this is a jailbreak. Not your attitude.
You're the one pestering old men in cages. Now scram with your sourpuss. You're disturbing my sitting time.
My puss is not sour. Excuse you. Fine. Can I relock the door? Fine. Be that way. Is getting married a thing even more? Do people still do that? Let's hang out for 2 years and become common law. Listen, it's gonna be a while, and it depends. What country are you from? Zernev, what country are you from? Because I'm Canadian, so there could be some country borders as well. Also, I don't think I can really get married for at least 2 more years. Apparently if you choose Gale as your starting character and go the god route, you get access to some of his god spells at the reunion? Ooh, the thing is, when you're playing a Tav or a different origin character, like Ascended Asterion, but when you're playing the origin character, I feel like the origin character, it must feel good to become the god, become the vampire ascendant. Oh, you're Canadian. I'm from the other end. I'm from Vancouver. All right, we're both Canadian. There you go. All right, well that's one barrier gone. Oh yeah, no for sure there, bud. We're actually Zernev, we're gonna watch the election. Well, we are gonna watch the election, but we're gonna watch the debate in a couple of hours. Or actually, if we're there. Gamer guy, welcome in. Hi. Slim, are you gonna hate me if I don't do it? I don't know if Slim's lurking. Slim's a regular. I need Slim's opinion matters more. Welcome in, everybody. If you're coming in on YouTube. Oh no, Slim! Slim's clipped that. Or did you clip something else? Oh, thank you! Thank you for the puss is not sour. Thank you, Slim. I just checked. Gale literally gets access to Powered Ruin. That might be kind of fun. An Origin Gale Ascended. Oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Riz. You got held. Excuse us for serving cunt. Exactly. Sorry, I just had to allow the clips through. Apologies. All right. Let us pray. No, let us, I want to go track down Thrumbo, because I've never done that before. This Mystic Carrion quest, I've never done it. Slim doing a service, thank you. You can access it until the end of the game, so it's useless, but it's cool if they added in some 7th level spells. I think I'd want to try, the spells that, the mods that, unlock the cap at level 12 would be interesting. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to maybe do one more playthrough and then come back to the game in 5 years and see what modders have done with it. This game has potential. Not even potential. I think it will live on in the same way that Skyrim does. And the modding community, what the modding community has done for Skyrim. So, I'm hoping... I don't think I'll be streaming in 5 years. That would be insane. But I'm excited to see, like, what people have done with it. Because people have made whole other DLCs just for Skyrim as a mod. And I feel like this game has the capacity for it. Leave it up to me to find another game around Canada. Couldn't be further away. Listen, it's across on the other side. Now that patch out is 8, the game is done. Modders will go crazy since they won't... Exactly! But the only concern I have is, I don't like...
From bonds free! No more slave. Liberators, saviors.
I forgot about this.
Pawns.
Gale, you're distracting.
Fools.
We're so back.
And
How was therapy, Oak?
killed. Death. Unavoidable.
I'm coming for you, bitch. It was good. It was so good. We are so back. All right, where's Thrumbo? Oh. Wait.
Those mortals were infected with tadpoles, and the Elder Brain triggered their transformation. Was it deliberate or accidental?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I only... oh, no. You guys, Minthara has no key points. I'm actually a little bit worried here. I think we'll be okay. I hope we're about to get point. Okay, they're going that way. Slim, you weren't there, but I actually... It wasn't bad, but there was a moment where I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I was stunned. I was fighting 4 guards. Fight back! Okay, I forgot. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Honest, Strange, I love it. Monk is, like, actually, like, unbelievable. At max level, the thing is, I mean, you saw a little bit of what she could do, but, do I just hit everyone with an insect plague? Are mind flayers the butt? They have no resistances. It's still on your mind. But yeah, so the modding community is gonna go ham for sure. I'm like, do I run? Minthara can run if she has to. I'm a little bit worried. I'm just really tapped. I'm just really tapped out. That's my problem. I don't have a lot of capability right now.
Impero mortum.
It is now. It is cross-platform now with patch 8. Yes. Yes. Hello?
No choice but to keep going.
Oh, I can't move anymore. Even though I have movement. Oh, it was just... they had to get in. Okay. Rawr! Yeah, I'm gonna move away because I don't want to get, like, zone blasted by them. Minthara, I'm a little bit worried. Okay, we've got 2 fists. No key points. She does have wholeness of body. Can these guys be prone? Do I do it? Wholeness of body's an action. Extra bonus action. I think I'm gonna do it. It'll get me back some key points. We're gonna do a leap over here.
Mercy.
Those guys are gonna take care of that one. Nice. Okay, that was good. Well, wholeness of body, even though we have full healing, we need the key points here. Oh, 5 key points. Hell yeah. Okay, we'll just do... It's already toppled. I guess we do stagger. Oh, we can't do an offhand... Well, I could just keep using key points. Oh, this thing... Okay, never mind. Oh. Perfect. And then she killed... Oh, okay, never mind. Amazing. I could do a sneak attack. I can't really hit from here. I can't get there. Let's do... Ooh! you mean not enough space? I've never used one of these before! Ugh. You butt. We're just gonna have to shoot from here. Noki, is it weird that I'm watching someone play? Not at all strange. I've done it before. I've done that before, for sure. We need to do a... I'm allowed to do a long rest, right? See, that's what I didn't want to happen over here. Perfect. It's paralyzed. Gale. Well, all the civilians are dead.
I strike with precision.
Told the dead. Incredible cantrip. Never mind. Why was I worried about this? I'm sorry. I shouldn't doubt myself. If I do an ice knife, that might explode all of them. Don't go over there, you're gonna die. Oh, you know what I never did was the printing press.
Time to die.
Lila low. Where are you? It's prone. It's prone, ensnared, and paralyzed.
This plan is breaking free. We must discover where it is hidden before that happens.
All right.
What's in here?
Sometimes you'll play a Shadow Monk. Honestly, the monks are incredible. I can't believe I was worried about that, if I'm being completely honest. I hate that this is stealing. It is? It's a real spell in patch 8? That's pretty cool. I'm not sure if I want to proceed. This is worth... I should do a long rest. I'm gonna do a long rest. I'm gonna go to camp. Because I just do not have... I don't want to lose. And then we're gonna see if we can find Thrumbo. Let's go, ghouls. Bam, ba-na-na-na. You have such a bad headache. Why? You're free. Gale. Oh my god, Gale. Where did everybody's clothes go? Why does nobody have their undergarments on? Gale, you have this. You're supposed to be in your Knuff t-shirt. I need the Knuff mod. 100%. Oh, let's see. Wait, let's see if we can revive Lae'zel.
Moving ahead.
And then I'll sell the stuff to Volo. Hi, Withers. Oh, he's probably got a thing to say to me.
The wheel of fate turns ever to the dark.
What are you saying, Withers? Why are you
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection?
Withers,
instead?
you brought me back to life because I fought off the dark urge. I can't. There's no resurrection option. Lae'zel's dead. Can I click revive? Wait, if we go back to the Ball's temple, can I revive her down there? Why don't they? I think she's dead. Oh, dang. Well, we gotta do a long rest and then we'll go try, but I need to sell a bunch of shit to Volo.
Whatever happens next, be sure that I will document it.
I'm sure. Oh, he doesn't have much money. Dang. As you can see, I've sold him a lot of shit. Do you have any good spells? You know I love it in Irresistible Dance. For sure. I mean, I'll take a Scroll of Disintegrate, for sure. I'm just gonna be casting 6th level spells. I guess he'll reset when I long rest, right? What is this? Weird that it's in there. Rings. I'll sell you these rings. What does that say? I never melee, so it's fine. You can take these. I think I'm gonna sell foreign stuff, maybe. I'm definitely not keeping those. Oh yeah, Slim, were you there? I was yapping about respecking Karlach into being a storm sorcerer, so that way I could bring Karlach. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's from Act 1 for sure. When the wielder's not wearing armor, they receive +2 bonus to saving throws. Interesting. I can sell Hammer of the Just. I think I can sell all of these. I love that he'll just buy everything. Baconia's where's advantage? I'll just sell it. I'll try to revive Lae'zel tomorrow, for sure. If I remember. Is always the question. Battle Mage's Power. I just kind of keep everything. I don't think... We have a bunch that's in... I don't want to give him money, though. Well, I can always trade it off. Who's the bald capybara? Take all the stuff I don't want. Like this rotten lemon. You know, also what I haven't done is I haven't found all of the... There's those. I haven't found all of the clown parts. See, I find it so interesting that there's the Gauntlet of the Tyrant, the Gauntlets, but then we also found one with Minthara. Where is it? The Servitor of the Black Hand Gloves. These also do 1 to 4 force damage, you know? There's so many good monk gauntlets. I wish you could combine items. So, like, I could put the 1 to 4 cold damage, you know? I guess if I... What did I do last time? Did I free Orpheus? I think so. I know it would be OP, but, like, I don't understand why they give you so many good monk bracers. Alright, let's, thanks, Volo. Let us pray. No,
What now?
I'm going to put it all in
Searching.
Minthar's inventory. What's your body slot, BTW? It looks all weird and tiny. Hi, girl. Oh! I think everybody lost their camp clothes. I don't know why. Everybody lost their camp clothes. Because, like, Gale had the leaf in front of him, too. My camera is bugged. Sort by latest. Alright. Add to wares. Oh, I thought I was picking... Okay. Wait, how do I put it in my inventory? Hold on. Far enough is Storm! Borderline following through. Are you jetpack? Are you jetpack propelled? Apologies. I know this. Listen, we're cleaning up. We're cleaning up. This isn't gonna be insane gameplay. We're just here to hang out. We're just here to have a chill time. We're probably gonna finish this playthrough. Oh, probably next week, between next week, Wednesday and Friday. I'm gonna encumber Minthara, but she's gonna be fine about it.
Nothing hurts anymore.
That's so much
Whatever
to sell.
happens next, be sure.
Launch yourself into a different time zone, Viperous. I've been there. I've been there.
Accurately as possible.
Listen, the hottest people have tummy troubles, okay? My character's armor slot? Okay. I could do better with armor. I have Wanty scale armor. That's from Act 2. I think I can only wear medium armor. She's not actually wearing that armor. Like the imagery is different. Sell wares, I think is the option. Wait, how does he have... Okay. Cool. Artist up, thank you, Vipers. Listen, hey, you know what? If you can't be a silly goofy, listen, if you can't have a laugh, you know? If you can't listen, farting can be funny, okay? I get it. Add to wares. We're just gonna encumber her, and then we'll sell them to Volo tomorrow when he's got options.
Best get going.
Best believe am I allowed to I'm gonna sleep. It's gonna be fine. Also, I took a next step in the live streaming IRL because I want to stream Pokemon Go over the summer. Best streamers laugh at stupid jokes and dumb chats. Listen, I don't take myself too seriously, but I take life very seriously. I want to have a good life. You have adamantine half plate? No, I do not. I think I made the adamantine greatsword and full plate. Must be my time of the month, you know.
Dreaming red.
Anyways. I don't get why there's just so much blood Listen, just a new blood pot. Listen, I'm not the Dark Urge anymore. New blood piles just kind of happen.
Whatever happens next, be sure that I will document it all as accurately as
Oh, I believe you. What do you have new to offer, Bolo? I don't think this is real. Cloak of the Battlemaster. I had some modded cloaks. Ooh! Globe! Hell yeah. Get me. Planar binding isn't the most useful. I don't think I've ever cast Crown of Madness, if I'm being completely honest. Okay. I realize I marked those as wares, but let's just do this. What else do I have to sell? Why does Minthara have the Blood of Lathander? Is the Staff of Spell Power better? I think it is. I think it is. Alright. Why am I encumbered? What's too heavy? Well, heavily encumbered. She's already carrying it. The long arm of Gur. I think I'm just gonna send that to camp. Okay, where are the key rings? We're just gonna clean up the stuff I can deal with. Oh, you know what I need is the book bag. Oh, Karlak wants to talk. We'll talk to my baby girl. We're gonna respec her, and she's gonna be a storm sorcerer. Why did I want to go to my inventory here? Book bag. This is my, like, I don't want to carry the books I've picked up, and you just pick up everything. Just put them in. It's so helpful. I did download a mod that was like bags of sorting, but it really didn't work out as intended because it doesn't auto sort the best, unfortunately. Okay. No! I'm not falling for that, Googly. That's not even funny. Listen. Listen, that's not funny. Do a D's nuts joke instead. Do a D's nuts joke instead. That's not even that funny. L. Patrick, you think I'm falling for that? Come on now. Come on now. Alright. Let's talk to my girl.
Hey, soldier. You're back.
Still soldier after everything we've been through. I'm worried about you. Are you alright? These nuts, thank you, Oak Trees. Oh, I fell for it. You got me, Oak. You got me.
Yeah, despite my best efforts. I kept trying to flop over and give up, but Karlak just won't let me. Did I miss anything important?
Villains rose, heroes fell, and the apocalypse drew near. That's comedic, and I think she'll appreciate it.
Nothing out of the ordinary, then. You know, soldier, we're so fucked. The Dark Three are trying to consume the Sword Coast. We've still got tadpoles in our eyes, and I've got a ticking time bomb in my chest.
I'm trying not to look, Karlak.
Not sure anyone has ever been more fucked than this. And yet, we're fine.
No.
In this moment, we're fine. Here I am. There you are. Breathing, talking, even laughing if we want. Is it very precious to say that despite it all, I'm
I
Happy.
have felt that exact feeling very recently. If you're happy, I'm happy. Very precious indeed. This is all well and good, but I can't pretend there's a solution here. You could go back to Avernus and live. Very precious indeed. If you're happy, I'm happy.
In that case, there's something I wanted to ask you. Will you stay with me when it's time for me to go?
It's not
I
gonna
can
be...
do anything if you're there. Even die.
No, girl. I'm not sure I can. We're gonna cure you before it comes to that. I just know it. I'll just tell her that I'll be there for her. Because she's like... I feel like her response to this would be something about false hope.
Thank you. Now, enough tragedy. I'm not gone yet, and our schedule is packed with important heroics, isn't it? Plus, if I cry any more, I'm gonna run out of tears and start leaking motor oil. Thanks for everything, soldier. I'm extremely glad to be in this thing together.
Alright, let's respec her. I respect her, but let us respec her class. Oh, and we need to see if we can revive Lae'zel. I hope.
Soldier?
Head on me. We're heading out. Oh, what do you think of your hero's house? Tell me more, Gortash, about your tour. Come on, we're heading out.
Fuck yes.
Alright.
Damn, it's good to be alive. Honk honk.
She's so cute. I think we'll keep her outfit the same. So we'll just convert the items to look like that when we switch out the outfits. Is he gonna say a new name?
Thou walkest
No, never mind.
alone. On all these harsh nights, thou hast sought no company.
Withers likes to tell every single companion that they get no bitches. What happens if he talks to Minthara? Because Minthara and I are girlfriends. You sound disapproving.
Love is no domain of mine, but it is often cited as the purpose of mortal life. Wherefore turnst thou from it?
I've never romanced Karlach. He does tell you if you get no bitches. Well, he tells, like, your Tav. I don't think he's supposed to tell that to the companions. I would have liked to, loved to, but it just didn't happen for me.
And thus thou art alone.
Damn, that's ruthless Withers. He said this to,
Fate spins along as it should.
he said that to
Dost
Will.
thou require a new ally?
Satin, welcome back.
Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Where's Arabella gone? Can you help me change my class?
As thou desire.
Okay. Storm Sorcerer. We're just gonna take everything that Minthara has and put it on Karlach. She stays as a tiefling. We can't change these, which is totally fine. Class. We are gonna go Sorcerer. Cantrips. Oh, shoot. We gotta go through these. This is gonna take a little bit. Oh, yeah. We just go everything lightning. That's right. Sure. Spells are important because we can't really change them after this. Karlach's Act 3 date scene is both beautiful and heartrending. I highly recommend. I've wanted to. Okay. Always choose the lightning, and then we go with the thunder. Thunder and lightning is always what we want, I think. With her. Oh, Chromatic Orb does thunder damage, though. Alternatively, choose a different type of damage? Hell yeah. Subclass, Storm. Deity, or, well, I should probably check. Doesn't it automatically give you something? I'm not sure. We made her a Paladin of Tyr. Let's just leave that. Okay, the abilities, meaning she's got +7. Okay, so we can do that, and we can do that. Okay. So we can have she'll have a 16 con and a 22 charisma. Very, very frightening. Galileo. I mean, we don't really need these, do we? But we'll go for it. Alright. Hot Willy Pepper! This is the best dream in the entire world. Get out of here. You're tooting my horn. Hot Willy Pepper, you're wildin'. You wildin' there. Annie, welcome back. Okay. Before I level her up, I'm just gonna remember to put the objects on her. We're gonna have to make it look a little different. She's gonna look a little silly goofy. Okay, she's gonna look a little silly goofy. Although you guys can't see her quite as much because she's like right there and I'm on top of Karlak. I guess okay. We'll give her Birthright. That will give her a charisma of 22. We'll give her the Cloak of the Weave. We'll give her... I'm gonna make... Oh, Jaheira also doesn't have her camp... Why did everybody take their camp clothes off? Oh god. Jaheira, put your camp clothes on. I don't wanna... Jaheira's gonna be uncomfortably not wearing clothes. There we go. Okay. Okay. Karlak's gonna look a little funny. I will be honest. We'll have to make her look a little bit different in a moment. We need to also give her the Pearl of Power for sure. Don't do cantrips all that much. But... Why does she have an AC of 13? Why is she not proficient in shields? Oh! Jaheira's proficient in shields because she's a half-elf, right? How did Jaheira have proficiency in shields? We'll have to figure that out. House of Hope removes your camp clothes. Thank you. I've been wondering why everybody is walking around butt naked after the House of Hope. You're right. Well, listen. Listen, camp is getting freaky, but I didn't sanction it. Okay? I think she might actually look kind of fun in this hat. Yeehaw! You know what? Okay. Now, I think Asterion has the dark... She's encumbered. Oh my god. She can't carry anything. Deep girl. Okay. That should help with the encumberment. Who has the shard? Transmog appearance. Combined Karlak. There we go. Okay, so it says... Use this crystal and place the item you wish to glamour on the left and the appearance you wish to copy on the right. So we want to glamour this, and we want to copy the appearance of this. There we go. Okay. We want to... what was she wearing before? We actually don't even want gloves here. What gloves look cool? These ones look kind of cool. Let's make them look like that then. So we're glamoring these to make them look like those. We'll dye them. We're gonna unify the color palette, don't you worry. And then the boots are fine, I think. Wait, no, what were her previous boots? The boots didn't matter. Okay. The hill giant strength is pretty crazy. What is Gale's Hellrider's Pride? When you heal another creature, it gains resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. That's pretty good. We can send this to camp now. Maybe I just give the gauntlets back. Salt Hog, what do you mean? This is base game. What do you mean, what is Gale wearing? He's got an armor class to 21. What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, hold on. Let's look at character sheets. I'm pretty sure... Is that how... I think Jaheira has proficiency with shields because she is a half-elf. It is wild, but it works. This is why we can't... Dang, so she's not gonna have a shield. BB girl. You're gonna get hit something fierce. Lightning aura. Well, let's level her up, maybe. I don't think she gets proficiency with shields. I think Asterion has the black dye. Right? Who has it? Somebody has it. Yeah. I did reclass everybody. You're right. I did. Yes. Because I found that I just kind of used the same companions because of the classes. And so I just have a preferred balance when I'm using companions. When I'm using classes. And so instead of switching out companions, I kind of reclassed everybody. Oh, those look so cool. I kind of like the... We'll have to... I like the hat being visible, if I'm being honest. And I'm gonna go the route... I wanted to have a... That sucks. That's a huge... I didn't realize she didn't have proficiency with shields. Man. Remember how much Jaheira was attacked before? Think about how much she's gonna get... Karlach's gonna get attacked now. Boots. Hell yeah. Yeehaw! She looks wild. That's funny. But the best staff, I think, is definitely this one. Because of the Kurska's favor, we get the lightning. It's good. Okay. Let's level up Karlach, and then we'll go from there. I feel like I need to absolutely need to upper Constitution. Meta magic, replace spells. Spells. Okay, we need to take any and all thunder. Oh, I guess... Oh, this is just another first level spell. Okay. Meta magic. I like twinned and distant. Second level, we need... I feel like I should take Misty Step. Thunderwave upcast as well, yeah. So we're going all thunder and lightning, although I do like having Misty Step. We can take another spell later, right? I do have 5 E spells. Shatter... Mind Whip. Chaos Bolt. I mean, I guess the problem is you can't... That's cool, though. That's cool. I'm excited that they added Toll the Dead as an official spell. I'm gonna take Misty Step. We're gonna do... Disadvantage, Extended, Quicken. We absolutely take Quicken spell, for sure. Replace spell. We're not gonna replace anything. We've got it. What time is it? I don't want to miss the leaders debate. It's in a half an hour. Okay. I get another cantrip. Okay, we're gonna do Booming Blade. I get. No, I never use Booming Blade. It's an attack with a melee weapon. What am I talking about? The best cantrip in the game. True Strike. No, I'm kidding. Or Acid Splash. Yeah, the Canadian debate. You know what? We might. I can't watch all of it because I'm gonna be tuned into Critical Role later. But I'm like, might as well. Sure, let's take Shatter. Feat. Ability score improvement. Con, Charisma. It'd be neat if I could up the dex by 1, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. But yes, I am Canadian, so we're gonna watch it. Because I just end stream and watch it, so I might as well watch it with you guys. I have haste. I should learn haste, I suppose. Are Canadians actually super nice? So I think there's a difference between nice and polite. You know? I would say Canadians are polite, but nicety ranges from person to person. Because being nice, I mean, I guess they're both character. I don't know. But yes, there's a tangible difference, Salthog, when I'm not traveling to the United States right now, but in the past when I have traveled, like, people are just not very aware or conscious of other people and other people's existence. You know? Oh, I forgot 5e spells down here. Ooh, Blink might be interesting. Is Blink a concentration spell? Oh, Blink is not. I might actually take Blink, because that's a spell I can't take from spell scrolls. And there's nothing else. Wait, where's Call Lightning? Oh, I think I get access to Call Lightning automatically. Up until hockey's mentioned, funny you should say that, is the French leaders debate was the time was changed because there was an overlap with the hockey game. Fun fact. I think I'm gonna take Blink, because I haven't used it yet. Wisconsin? You know, I don't feel like crossing the border at all to anywhere. That's the thing. Ooh, Storm Sphere. It does bludgeoning damage. Thunderstep. I never cast that as Jaheira, though. What do I want to take as a 4th level spell? Psychic Lance. Banishment. I think I took Ice Storm. Because it's a nature spell. Should I take Dimension Door? Oh, I can't take 2 spells, that's right. Sure, I'll do, Ice Storm. I want to visit Texas. I've been to Texas. I mean, so, Salthug, I'm guessing you're from the US, right? It was very jarring going to Texas as a Canadian. Very jarring. No, Norway. It was just wild to see like police and state troopers just walking around the city with massive guns. And I did not like that. It's true, Norway's better than skiing, for sure, for sure. Oh, Jaheira had counterspell. Does anybody really cast spells in the final battle? Not really. Hunting. I mean, like, guns are controlled here, so it was very jarring to go to the States and seeing that, for sure. Thunderstep. I was, like... I hate the concept that anybody in the, like, I don't want to get into it. I'm Canadian, we have our own gun laws. It's jarring that, like, it feels like anyone in the US could have a gun. Like, you just don't know. And what's the point? I just don't get it. It's a cultural thing. And the obsession with having firearms is insanity to me. Samson, hi. Rob's not here. I'm sorry, Rob's not here. Andy, welcome in! There's Norway. That sounds like, Australian. There's Norway, that's true. Dad joke, BTW, I believe you. Norway. Love that. Welcome in, Andy. Andy, I saw you here earlier. I hope you're doing well. Charisma, she's up to 20. I'm not sure if I'm picking the right spells, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There's Nor! Once a guy killed people because the police could not intervene. I mean, like, we have... Like, our police officers have, like, pistols. But it's, like, a de-escalation. Like, you're safer... Like, in the conversation with, like, guns and stuff like that, it often gets brought up, like, that people get stabbed in the UK. Yeah, it's better to take on a knife than it is a gun. Yes, people will commit acts of violence. I'm not debating that, but the tools used to commit those acts of violence vastly differ. I feel like I'm getting access because I'm a storm sorcerer. It's taking out all of the storm-based spells. I need Cone of Cold for sure. I'm gonna take Counterspell at some point. My snookums! The gin thing is real. It's easy to steal a gun in Norway, though, or get one illegally. I feel like people would do it. I'd rather... the gun thing is so real. What's 112 guns per 100 people? It's so wild that, like, American fashion, like, there's some, like, purses that have designed to have a gun holder in your purse. Yes, you can counterspell. Yes, it is possible. You can do it. We're gonna take... Oh, I get a new meta magic. And a new cantrip. I guess I'll just take Firebolt. Spells. I'm gonna take Counterspell. Meta magic. Twin spell. Already have Twin spell. Subtle spell. You can cast spells with silence. Heightened spell. Disadvantage on their saving throw. Extended. Isn't there, like... What's the meta magic that does damage? Like, there's one that, like... I think it's heightened spell, but I think it's different in D&D. Do you like my profile pic? Rob above all? Samson, hold on. How do I see this? I think we'll take Careful spell. Hold on, Samson. How do I see your profile picture? It's very small. Samson. I'm about to put you on blast, Samson. I'm about to put you on blast. I hope you're ready for this.
It's a little early for me. Let me get a cup of coffee first.
Thank you for the caffeinate. Samson, that is so funny. I mean, what you doing out here with all that ass? Double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. Samson, what are you doing out here with all that ass? Do you like it? I do like it. I think that's pretty funny. Thank you for... Damn! What you doing out here with all that ass? That's pretty cheeky, Samson. You better be careful. Rob might like that. Yeah, okay, I take careful. Spell. Do I want to replace? Let me take a look. We're doing pretty good at selecting. I'm pretty sure we get access to Call Lightning and Chain Lightning automatically. I think I like these spells. I think I'm not going to change any. We got 2 more levels to go. Cup check. I've got iced coffee. I've got nondescript black pop. And I've got water. I got bottle water. Bottle water. How did you feel yesterday? Oh man, we absolutely decked. We decked Gortash. It was unbelievable. Ooh.
It's the final brain cell.
I don't get access to Chain Lightning. I absolutely have to take that. That's okay, I get one more 6th level spell. I get one more feat as well. Do I take War... Did that.
Soldier boy, tough. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy.
We're gonna take Warcaster for sure. And then we're going to see about that. Thank you for your buying a vowel. Riz, you've practiced your vowels 20 times. Okay. Here's the thing. Do I take haste? Or do I take globe of no, I have like 4 globes of invulnerability. I think I'll be fine. What do I want to take? It's so crazy. Like, I'm used to playing spellcasters that can just flippity-flop change their spells on a long rest. It's crazy to me that you have to... Oh, Arcane Gate. I guess I could Arcane Gate us across, but it's not worth taking as a 6th level spell. Hold Monster is useful. So, Satin, at this point, all we have to do is fight the Elder Brain. So we have to go through the sequence of fighting the Elder Brain. I'm not sure Hold Monster is our best option here, in that she's almost always concentrating on Call Lightning. I'm surprised I didn't get to choose it, though. There's Odatug's Freezing Sphere. 5th level. Skill Empowerment. True Seeing. Charm Monster. Trillic Sphere. I mean, like, who am I gonna cast Haste on? I feel like I'm gonna be doing Haste Spore Grenades anyways. So... I did, yeah, we killed Gortash. She could also take Sunbeam. I need a spell that I can't okay, I need a non-concentration spell, because she's got a lot of concentration spells, I think. Ooh. Ooh, we're not gonna be able to do our trickery, our long rest trickery. Oh, but we'll be able to do it before... It's all one after the other. I'll have to do it before we go to the brine pool for sure. What are your thoughts about the furry community? I mean, like, I think that they stick to their own. Like, I don't have a problem with furries. I'm not one. I think it's, you know, to each their own, right? I feel like there's a lot of misguided understandings about them. Fireball, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good, but the thing is, it's not lightning damage. She's gonna be outputting lightning damage like crazy. I think I'm gonna take... Oh. What are my spells? Let me see. If I change... What is her 6th level spell is Chain Lightning. It is a damage... It is a damage-based spell. 4th level. 5th level, Cone of Cold. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the globe. I think I'm gonna do the globe. Are you too scared? No, that's just my thoughts. Is that like I think that they're fine. I don't see a problem with furries. I've never had really a bad interaction with one. Not that I've had very many, but sometimes you see them at conventions and stuff. I feel like there's just not really a take to be had about furries other than they're just people with passions. I know that they pay artists really well, typically. We're gonna take Globe to be extra safe. Alright. Unfortunately, she does not have access to a shield. So look at that armor class. How do we up that armor class? That is rough. I guess she'll cast Mage Image with a scroll. Axel, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's not, for some of them it's like a sexual thing, but not for a lot of them. For a lot of them it's just fun. I've known a lot of bad eggs. I can't really say I've known too many furries, but like, have you seen, there's an episode, I think, where Anthony Padilla interviews some furries? And they just like, I don't know. They seem to mind their own business. I feel like what it is that there's bad people in every community. A bad person is gonna be a bad person regardless of their political affiliation, regardless of their hobbies, their interests. And so the people that are bad eggs aren't bad eggs because they're furries. You know what I mean? Yeah, the ones I've met. Exactly. Like, that's one thing, is that people are gonna be... If people are bad eggs or evil, they're to their own ends. It doesn't... It's just because of who they are, like, internally. It's not necessarily their hobbies, interests, that kind of stuff. Thrumbo. Okay, we gotta do this as listen, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do very quickly, okay?
Need a word.
Not with Karlak.
No one stopped me yet. First in
I'm not gonna explain what I'm doing because I just do this every time. The bad parts of the fandom is overstayed because of how long it's been around, and I feel like it gets sensationalized as well.
Let's talk.
Because humanity and people have a predisposition, have a predisposition to not like things that they don't understand, or that they don't, interact with, right? And so people have a natural predisposition to not like something that they don't understand. And most people don't understand, like furries. That's how you got, for instance, this is Dungeons and Dragons. That's how you got, you know, the satanic panic about Dungeons and Dragons was all panic over not understanding it, right?
Sorry, but there's no room for me.
I know, you can take Gale for now.
Let's make this happen.
Aw. Alright.
Defender of the people.
Not invisibility, we're gonna do Long Strider. This changed the game for me. Learning all of these passive spells was unbelievable.
Worth a try.
Genocide, welcome in. I know, he's used for his spell slots. I feel like I should make Will the cleric next time. Oh. Okay, we got 15 minutes until the debate. I always forget to use them. Honestly, it's like, I'm like this. I was just like, it was crazy. Oh no! I just realized something. Oh, that just means Minthara is gonna have to run over here. Yeah. I don't know why, but it doesn't use his first level spell slot when he's casting Longstrider. Okay, that's it for him. Now what?
Still in control.
Oh, right. I go get the cleric. Thanks, Will. That was great.
Let's talk.
Wait in camp.
Are you sure? The blade and just...
Chane! Abracadabra. Welcome in, Chane! Chane, what are you doing up this late?
This vessel is at thy this soul.
Okay. And now we need to replace nobody. We bring Minthara over here. Technically.
Wretched thing.
Debate what debate? Samson, we're gonna be watching the leaders debate. Gale, actually, we used a death ward at some point for the Canadian leaders. I'm just gonna do the rollout and then we'll have to save. Your messages are delays. Is the gaming channel a free advocate channel? Neither, Krish. It's just that somebody asked me the question and so I'm gonna answer it. Karlak? What else am I casting? Protection from poison. I guess we upcast it on a 3rd level. But yeah, apologies about the delayed messages. Is it a cantrip? Is Longstrider a cantrip? Because that would be incredible. Until long rest, movement speed increased by 3 meters. That's an insane cantrip. Protection from poison. Okay, what do I have to do next? I also have to cast... Oh, Death Ward on Minthara. Then we do Aid.
Who's next?
Then we do Aid and Hero's Feast, and then we're done.
On my way.
It's a ritual spell. Smooth Wizard. Smooth Wizard, thank you. Appreciated. That makes sense. Okay. So now we have her cast Aid and Hero's Feast. Oh, if I move Minthara up, it'll take her longer to walk.
Intestines throb, blood whispers.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Cantrip. Oh god. Hero's Feast. And then we have Minthara run up here.
For your sake.
And we cast Aid, and then we're all done. Jen, I said like 3 minutes ago. Said that it's a cantrip? Do your own thing, I'll do mine. We respect each other, dislike channel. Exactly, exactly. As long as your likes and dislikes don't hurt anybody. You know, you need to fix what? You need to fix it! Samson, can you just do me a little favor? Do me a little favor? And just refresh your browser, whatever you're on. Just refresh the stream. Ritual. Oh, it's a ritual. Ritual. Got you. 5th level. We're gonna cast Aid. Oh, okay. Interesting. So,
our enemies still draw breath.
Minthara's gonna have to be here. What if I encumbered Minthara so she couldn't move? We're gonna have her run over and cast Aid at a 5th level.
Still in control.
Okay.
Just.
5th level. Aid. Cast it. Done. Slayed. Got it. Nailed it. Alright.
Looking ahead.
You're back. Welcome back. How's that? Is this new patch out? It is out? I'm stuck on patch 6. Smooth Wizard. I'm stuck on patch 6, unfortunately. Because this is a heavily modded playthrough.
This vessel is at thou art the
Okay. The leadership debate is in 10 minutes.
Just what I need.
We're gonna have to go find a live stream of it. Patch 8 is so good. Listen, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there, okay?
You wish to consult me?
Wait, she's already on the team. Who's not on the team? Oh, Gale! I'm a goofy goober. Gale's not on the squad. We should have a debate if Rob should be worship me personally. I think he should. I think you should. I mean, to each their own. As long as you're not hurting anybody. My heart is pure at last. Join me.
With...
That's crazy. I have 167 HP. Okay, so Karlak at least has over character sheet. At least she has over 100 HP. But it's crazy that her AC is like, what's it, 13? Is there any way to up her armor class? Her dexterity is +1. What are... I know I have nails. I have the gloves of dexterity. I could give her the gloves of dexterity. No, I need the reverberation. Good luck watching your debate. I'm curious. Listen. If you guys don't want to watch it, that's okay. I could end the YouTube stream. I'm not sure. So, Satin, unfortunately, there's no stream tomorrow. That's why I'm streaming today, is because I'm going to be gone for the weekend, for Easter long weekend. So, that's why I'm not streaming. I won't be streaming till Wednesday, probably. Next Wednesday, so, like, almost a week from today. And we'll be finishing this playthrough. Easter! Yeah, I know, unfortunately. I'm, like, gonna get smited. Smitten? The divine smite. I'm actually going to church on a Sunday. You know I don't mind. I know. Listen, I'm just interested. So they did the French language debate. There was no winners or losers. It went pretty average, which is pretty good, but alright. Let's save the game. I gotta figure out what I'm doing. Are you having a little hero's feast? I'm not excited to go to church. I just have... we were talking about it earlier. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. But I'm just doing it to appease. My nephew is young, so I'm sure something... Oh, like an Easter egg hunt would be super cute. Super cute. But yeah, we will be ending this playthrough Wednesday and Friday of next week. This playthrough's been almost a year. Pray to Rob. I mean, you can, Samson. You can. Absolutely. Alright, let me get to just chatting real quick. I'll close the game. And we'll just, I'll go find us a live stream of it. If anybody has, I mean, like, I talk about Canadian politics a fair amount, but if anybody has questions, comments, concerns, want to marry you yet? Zevnev, you just got back.
Show him what I got.
Samson, I just... Am I gen-genning? Keys, you know I'm gen-genning. Absolutely. That was typical. Andy, that is one of like 25 different options that could play. There's 25 different options if you click, I'd like to buy a vowel. Riz, congratulations on your 21st vowel practice. Samson, I went to my Chrome scene and your profile picture was right there. Okay, you guys. Dang, are you guys ready for the hard pivot to Canadian politics? Because we're about to. I can introduce you to the leaders. I guess I'll put just chatting. Just chatting. Let's go Canadian, English, leadership. Not leadership. Canadian English debate. I'll just leave watching. I can give you guys an introduction to the people that are in the debate. They kicked out the Green Party of the debate like yesterday. I hope you like it. I just kind of want to see somebody stick it to Pierre. That's all. I'm very overt. I'm about my bias. Like, I'm very left of center. And so I'm not trying to hide my bias whatsoever. Maybe I should content classification do politics. You know, it's fine. I'm not doing it in a super polarizing manner. Watching Canadian English candidate debate. Done. Hope to see you Wednesday. Thank you, Satin. I appreciate it. All right. Let's find a live stream of it. Maybe a CBC. Back to YouTube. YouTube, you've been great. By the way, the last couple weeks. Okay, let's see. APTN, federal leaders debate. What's the difference between sloth and a depressed person? I don't know what you mean. CBC, federal leaders debate. All right. Let's tune in. I got an ad on YouTube.
Great ideas can come from anywhere.
I can go over. Normally there's a Green Party leader, but they didn't qualify. Well, they did qualify, and then for being on this debate stage, and then they didn't run enough candidates to be put on stage. Okay, no thanks. All right. Oh, they're on time today. Okay, theater mode maybe? Sure. I mean, we could full screen it. You're an editor. Hold on. It's in 3 minutes. I didn't think that they were actually going to be on time, but then again, this isn't a movie. Okay. The Nether! Chicken jockey. All right. Yeah, chicken jockey. There you go. Okay, so there's nothing really happening right now.
To get the outcome that he wants.
But okay, on the far left, or on the far left right here, we have Pierre Polyev. This is Mark Carney. This is Jagmeet Singh, and that is Yves Blanchette. This guy, he's only like the leader of the Bloc Québécois. Let me pull up my phone's about to die, no worries. This is their last message. Samson, I'll tell Rob you were here. How about that? Let me pull up my political compass. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna turn off the eye tracker, because that feels a little weird. Where are we? Oh, that was Duke. There's Froggy, there's Rob, there's me. Okay. Open link. All right. So this is an example of like where they sit on the political spectrum. The Bloc are not positioned on here, but they're probably somewhere around here. Like right in this quadrant, but you can only elect the Bloc in Quebec. The Bloc, it's like if you're American, it's like this guy is a party leader for like only California. Only one place. So I'm curious. I'm curious. Nintendo Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Is that what you're excited for? All right, let's.
There is a desire, I think we've seen, both in public opinion polls and in people talking to us, that they want seriousness, they want competence, they want someone to show their ability to meet the moment. You know, that's what Mr. Kearney has framed his whole campaign around, but it is what the others are also trying now to pivot towards, because they know that that is where Canadians' heads are at. And that can be, you know, in response to Donald Trump, and it could be in response to, you know, potential recession coming down the line and ongoing cost of living challenges.
Why is the Purple Party in every country almost? Yeah, the Purple Party, it's my favorite color. The Purple Party is super racist. Yes.
In French, and I think that's good and healthy.
Play Mario Kart?
If we're having a substantive debate. But,
there you go. I don't think we can get married.
There is a lot at stake here tonight, and if nothing changes,
so this is the popular vote. Now, if you're American, the colors are inverted.
We are running into the end here, and as you've been saying, this is.
If you're American, blue is conservative and red is more left leaning. It's the other way around. Christina, what are you talking about? Christina, you're always wildin'. You're always wildin'.
Politics live from Montreal. This is day 26 of the federal election campaign. The
People's Party if you're a white Canadian, yeah.
Starts in 20 seconds. After that is over, we'll be back with Adrian Arsenault.
I can only be here for like an hour, but I'm curious.
And we'll watch
I just want to see.
But that's it.
So the French debate, I watched a little bit, but
here in Montreal.
Carney will probably do a lot better at the English than the French debate. Fortnite. Oh wait, hold on. I just realized.
Live from the atrium
You guys
of
can't
Maison
see it.
Radio
There you go,
Canada
on
in
YouTube.
Montreal, 4 federal leaders will debate for your vote.
There you go.
The leaders are here and ready to go.
I want the
Mark
captions
Carney,
on. I'm
Pierre
sorry.
Poilievre,
I wish I could move them.
François Blanchet,
Can
and
I?
Jagmeet Singh. They will debate the
There we
major
go.
challenges facing our country, from tariffs.
Purple
to the
Party
cost
is the
of living,
left in
public
Spain is the
safety,
left party.
energy,
Interesting.
And leading in a crisis.
Croissants and sales? No, they have
Steve
not.
Hagen, your moderator for
What is
tonight's
this
debate.
quality?
Each leader has agreed to the following. No notes. Answer the questions. Stay on theme. Stay on time. How much each leader speaks
me,
will be
I
counted
moved it
on
down.
these clocks, visible to the leaders and to you at home.
I can't believe the Green Party.
This is the
Oh my god, it keeps moving.
2025
I don't like that.
Federal Leaders Debate.
All right.
Well, welcome, leaders. Good to be with you here tonight.
This
in
does not
Montreal
look like
for what I'm
1080p.
sure will be a memorable evening. Our first theme is tariffs and threats to Canada, and we will begin with a round of questions. You will each have a minute to answer, and then we'll go to open debate. And the first question goes to Mr. Carney.
Pierre is a
Okay.
lifelong
what is the starting
politician.
point for negotiations, Mr.
Carney
Carney, with the United States?
is an economist,
If, as you have
essentially.
stated, our relationship with the U.S. is over as we know it.
Well, first, Steve, may I thank you and also thank fellow leaders for their service to Canada, people at home for taking the time to watch. I just want to underscore the premise to your question, because I think the relationship that we've had with the United States,
He's like the
relationship over
textbook
course of almost the last
definition
4
of
decades, which has been one of steady
fiscally
and
conservative
increasing
and
integration,
socially
has fundamentally
liberal.
changed, because the president is looking to fundamentally restructure the trading system. So the starting point has to be one of strength.
I love
It
this
has
hard
to,
pivot from Baldur's Gate to
show
this,
that
but I
we
don't.
have
I was gonna stop
control
stream
of our
and watch
own
this instead.
Economic destiny, has to have a clear plan here at home to build this economy.
Christina, he
to
literally does
diversify our
not.
trading partners with like-minded countries, and also has
I don't
to
wanna
have a
entertain
position of
that.
strength in
Christina,
terms of our reaction
lock
to
in,
the U.S.
behave.
unjustified tariffs. And that's why we have put in
I don't want to
place
have to moderate
counter-tariffs
you while
that
I'm
have
watching
maximum
this.
impact in the United States and minimum impact here at home.
Mr. Poilievre, would you do anything differently?
Well, first of all, thank you, Steve, and thank you to our fellow contestants here today. It's an honor to be here. What would I do different? Well, I'll start by what I would do the same. I think we
Let's
do
see if
need
he's
to counter the
sloganeers.
American tariffs with our own to deter this economic aggression. We must make clear that we will always be sovereign and independent.
This
What would I
guy
be doing
or
differently?
Carney? Carney looks like Bush.
Well, we need to be in a position of strength. The Liberal government has weakened our economy with anti-energy laws, red tape, and high taxes that have driven $500 billion out of our country into the United States
Can we?
and made us incapable
Yeah.
of shipping our resources overseas. That weakness threatens our ability to stand up for ourselves. So what would I do? I would cut taxes, red tape, and approve our resource projects so that we can get our goods to market
He's-
and bring home the jobs, so we stand up to President Trump from a position of strength.
Mr. Singh, you get the next question. Can we trust the United States to work with us on matters such as Arctic sovereignty and defense policy?
I think we've seen, first of all, good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in, and thanks for the question, Steve. We've seen what, for a lot of people, feels like a betrayal when we look at the United States. I grew up in a border town.
Maybe
grew up
I
in
should
Windsor,
turn off the YouTube
and we
stream.
saw how connected we were
'Cause
as
you guys
a
can't
city and
behave.
as a community. People lived on one side of the border, worked on the other. People traveled back and forth all the time. We're in the automotive capital of Canada, and we knew how important it was to be able to build cars in Canada, but we saw that those cars went back and
Putting you
forth
in a
across the border.
timeout, Christina.
Seeing what Donald Trump
I'm
did
putting
to
you and
attack
Krish
Canada
in a
in this
timeout.
unprovoked way without any
I have to.
justification really felt like a betrayal. And so Canadians now are right to say, well, we don't really trust
I don't want
Donald
the name
Trump at this
mentioned.
point,
I should
and we
ban
can't
the
really have a
word.
lot of faith in him. So when it comes to our Arctic sovereignty and our security, we need to make decisions that are in our best interest and no longer be so dependent and so reliant on the U.S. And that's what I would advocate for, making sure we are resilient, independent,
You guys have
and
been
less
timed
dependent on the United States.
Monsieur Blanchet, for you, what supports would you want to see for industries affected by tariffs, many, of course, of which are in Quebec?
Many of them. First, be all welcome in Quebec and Montreal.
Yeah,
you
Riz.
have me because I try not to speak English in Montreal. However, I think we should never underestimate the threat that Mr. Trump poses on Quebec economy and Canada economy
Quebec
and
is
Mexico
very,
economy.
like,
But we must acknowledge the
left-leaning,
fact that the
but
economy
they're
of
all
Quebec
about
is
their own
built
interests
differently. The challenges are not the same. the necessity for Quebec to have
I'm fine
at
with
least partly
censorship.
its own voice in the negotiation is
This
important.
is my house,
The
my
difference
rules. I will
between
censor you how I like.
Quebec and Canada is very important in terms of economy, but also in terms of identity and language.
So this
and
guy's just
values
gonna
and
talk
who
about
we are
Quebec
and
the
the way
whole
we want to handle immigration. So we have the right to be different, and if this difference is being respected by whoever becomes Prime Minister of Canada, we will be reliable partners in order to achieve the best possible negotiation and protect ourselves and our economies as partners.
Often,
Merci, Monsieur Blanchet.
his
Okay,
party
we now
works
move
with
into
whoever's
open
in
debate,
power,
and
because
I'll
he'll
start
never
it
be
off,
the
Mr.
Prime
Carney,
Minister.
with you, and then we go from there. Do you still support dollar-for-dollar tariffs, even if they ultimately threaten Canadian jobs and businesses?
No, and in fact, we've already moved off from dollar-for-dollar tariffs. We have to recognize, and I think we all do, the United States economy is more than 10 times the size of the Canadian economy. And the principle in terms of our counter tariffs is to have maximum impact in the United States, as I said a moment ago, minimum impact here. So we have to think about the impact on Canadian businesses. I'll give you one example, if I may. In the auto sector, the way
It's
we've
pretty
designed those auto
establishment.
tariffs.
Well, Zernev, you're Canadian,
is
so you
that
know.
Canadian automakers, if they maintain production here, if they maintain
I'm pretty sure
their
if you look up
investments here,
the definition
when I say Canadian
of
automakers, I
banker,
mean automakers that have
his
jobs
picture
and plants
is
and
in the
production in
dictionary.
Canada, then they can have lower tariffs on what they ship to the United States. We create a huge incentive for them in order to do that. We also have carved out the Canadian auto parts sector. Last point, I know you're pressed for time, the Canadian auto parts sector, so that it can remain competitive with the United States. We're focused on maximizing Canadian jobs, maximizing the harm in the U.S. So that we get them where we need them.
Mr. Polyev, you want in, then Mr. Singh.
Well, Mr. Carney, you claim that you want our country to respond with strength, but after the last decade, half of which time you've been
I guess we
Justin
are
Trudeau's
pretty polite.
economic advisor, our economy is weaker than ever before. It's been the worst growth in the G7. We've lost $500 billion of investment south of the border. You supported blocking pipelines in Canada that gave Donald Trump
He's all
and the
about
U.S. a near monopoly
using like
over our
oil
energy.
and stuff like that.
And now
Hi,
you
hi,
wanna keep in
Carlos. Welcome.
place
First time I see a live
Bill
on
C-69,
economy. Good.
the
This is important.
liberal
I think so. This is
no
Canadian, by
new
the way.
development law that blocks us from shipping our resources overseas. How could you possibly think it's a good idea to give the Americans a continued monopoly on our energy projects when you have seen how much these liberal policies have weakened our country over the last decade?
Let Mr. Carney respond, and then Mr. Singh.
Sure.
If I may, yes.
Hey.
So let's go to my record. My record is a month long as Prime Minister. And this goes to the heart of coming to the Americans with strength, but doing the right thing for Canada. Within the first week as Prime Minister, I sat down with all the premiers of the provinces and territories, as well as the leaders of the Indigenous peoples. Got an agreement with all the provinces and territories, doesn't happen very often, got an agreement for them to have 1 instead of 13, first point. Secondly, to commit
And he's
the federal
gotten that
government
done. Like,
to do its
the
part
provinces
by
are
Canada
starting to
Day.
work
so
together.
free trade in Canada by Canada Day.
It'd be like breaking down
Thirdly,
trade barriers
the federal government
between
to commit
states.
with respect to projects.
Uh-oh.
The question was about
Sorry,
pipelines.
I'm getting to it. Thirdly,
I'm getting
one
to it.
project, one review, and relying
That's not
on
possible
provincial.
under
Yes, it is
C-69.
possible under. It is possible on our system.
No,
it
it's
is
not.
the
It's
impact
banned
assessment.
under C-69.
It is agreed on under the impact assessment framework, and we have a cooperation agreement with British Columbia already. We're looking forward to them with the other provinces. We will move forward.
I'll
jump in on this. Mr. Singh's turn, please.
Of course, we agree around having a strategic response to the United States. But what
I'm
I'm
fine. I am
concerned
Tiny
about is
Satin.
what we're doing here in Canada. We are already
I don't
seeing
think
threats
anything
to our country.
game-changing
and that
is gonna
just the
come out of
threats
this,
alone
if
of
I'm
the
being
tariffs
honest.
have meant
I don't think
Canadians have lost
anything
their jobs.
game-changing is gonna
The
come out of
threats of the
this.
tariffs that are in place right now, the impact of those tariffs is that we've lost jobs in steel, aluminum, and the auto sector. People are already losing their jobs. And while Mr. Carney, you had time,
I know.
as you mentioned, not very long
these
time,
two,
but as
so
Prime
if I
Minister,
show-
you showed us your priorities. The first thing you did is you had
I don't wanna
traveled,
interrupt him.
you made a tax cut for millionaires, which was reversing on the capital gains. So you gave a tax cut to millionaires, but you didn't have time to increase the amount that workers get on EI. Right now, workers who are struggling and wondering, what am I going to do if I lose my job? Workers who've lost their job are saying, how do I pay my bills when EI only
I left
covers
Twitch and then scroll
half
past this
of
and
a
you're like
worker's
on
salary?
YouTube now.
Maybe 40 years ago that would have worked, but right now most workers are spending their entire salary just to pay the bills,
to pay their mortgage and their rent and to put food on the table.
Level their
so
speech
EI is
skills.
not good enough, and it shows Canadians that you didn't
They're
make
all
it a priority
capable
to
speakers,
protect those
but
that are impacted by these
they
tariffs.
have to
that are
speak at a
threatened
level
because their
that
jobs are lost.
We have
as
not
many
heard from
people
Mr.
are going to
Blanchet yet
understand.
in this segment, so
Like
please.
even Pierre, like
Mr.
capable
Carney, you are
speaker.
becoming a real Canadian leader, saying one thing in French and another one in English.
I'm gonna ignore
You said in British Columbia in
him.
February that you would
So
force
these two parties
oil and
are
gas through pipelines through
the
Quebec, either
predominant parties at the
we
moment.
wanted it or not. You would use
This
emergency
guy is
powers
this
in order
party.
to do so. And 2 days later in Montreal,
The guy that
you said
spoke
that you
just
would
before
never
him
do
is
that
this party.
without the approval of Quebec. What's
This
the
guy
point
is all
of
about
using
Quebec. The only thing he's going to
emergency
focus on is
powers
Quebec.
if you do have the agreement of Quebec? However, I
This
do
guy's
agree with you. It's
blue,
important
conservative,
to be very
red,
strong in front of
moderately
Mr.
left.
Trump.
This is where they
however,
are.
I would keep the dollar
Green-
for dollar
green isn't on the
policy.
stage, and
Don't
then
be weak
block
in
is
front
about right
of
here.
Mr. Trump. And those counter tariffs have to be targeted.
This
You
guy
have put out
props up
already $2
whatever
billion
government gets
for
elected.
Ontario auto industry, car industry, and the
It switched, yeah.
lumberwood industry in Quebec
So
has
red
already
is,
paid
in my
to the United
opinion,
States $2 billion
better than the
and
blue
you have not raised
Canada.
one finger in order to help us.
Let's get from Mr. Poliev and then a response from Mr. Carney.
Well, Mr. Carney refused to answer the question about pipelines. Just the other day, he said that he doesn't necessarily think we need to build pipelines. Let me tell you what that means. Right now, the
Carney has
Americans
been
get
talking about
97%
building
of our oil,
oil
100%
ports,
of our
like
natural
building
gas
pipelines,
exports
but
at
with
big
the
discounts.
cooperation
we
of
have
the
to
province.
send Canadian oil from Western Canada through the States just to get it back to Quebec because we
You
don't have
have
a
to
pipeline.
have provincial
And now there's
cooperation.
this law,
You can't just
liberal law C-69, which effectively
You can't
bans
just-
pipelines. The 14 biggest energy and resource companies say it
You have to
has
work
go
with
if
each
we're ever going
province.
to build another project. And I asked Mr. Carney
It's the balance
why
of
he
like
would keep
provincial
in place
versus state
this
rights. It's the equivalent
anti-pipeline
of
law
that.
that effectively empowers
Let me know if it's too loud.
Donald Trump to have a total monopoly on our single biggest export. Why would you not repeal this liberal law?
We have
Isn't
been-
it because
okay,
you
our
are
exports
exactly the
of
same,
oil
in the
to
same
China
line as Justin
has
Trudeau
gone
and
up
the rest of the liberal
drastically.
team that is now making up your cabinet?
We have already
Well,
started
let me pick up a couple of points
diversifying
that have been
our
made.
oil
The first thing I
exports.
did as Prime Minister was to
Volume's
cut
okay?
the
Thank
carbon
you.
tax. That's the first thing. Second thing is made a
What a
commitment.
great idea.
Made a commitment that all proceeds from our tariffs will go to workers and those
Question was
companies
about
most affected.
pipelines.
There were several points
Means
raised.
nothing
and
so
Tariffs
far.
I may-
derogatory?
Mr.
Yeah.
Steve, if I may address, I'm trying to do it quickly because several points raised. All proceeds go to workers and the firms most effective, and those proceeds are considerable. Third thing, I'm interested in solutions. I'm interested in getting energy infrastructure built. That means pipelines. That means carbon capture
He just
storage.
said it.
That means
That's good.
electricity
That's
grids.
good.
And here's how you do it.
I'm interested
and
in
we've already
like,
moved in the first.
He needed
in the
to
first
say that.
month.
I don't like
Cooperation agreements with the provinces. Guess what? We are a federation.
Orange, but
you
tariff
need to
works too,
cooperate
yeah.
with Quebec. You need to cooperate with the provinces.
Oh,
you need to get First
derogatory, Trump derogatory.
Nations and Indigenous people buy-in. You can do that through the one project, one review window that we put in place at that first ministers' meeting, as
I'm
well
glad
as,
Carney
if
said
necessary, using emergency powers to fulfill
good.
the federal responsibility, but not the unique.
Mr. Poliev, you want to come back on that?
What you're saying, Mr. Carney, with respect, is a total contradiction.
With
the No New
respect.
Development Law, C-69, guarantees there
Nice,
will not be
69.
one-stop shop because it requires the government of Canada to actually duplicate
So
the
what
same,
Mr. Poliev is saying is that
the
have no
same
rules,
project.
have no regulation,
have one-stop shop.
Mr. Singh,
over any energy
Mr. Singh,
development.
Yes,
you just gotta let him
Mr.
finish.
Singh.
Let's just let him finish his sentence.
That is not true. In fact, Mr. Singh, the reality is
With
we should
respect,
have strong rules
hate this guy.
enforced once. We shouldn't have multiple
It's the first
levels
time
of
I heard you care about
referral
the environment.
that it takes now 17 years to
that your
get a
position?
major project approved in this country. That
Did you
is
see the
why
look that
in
they
the
just
last 10
exchanged
years
between
we've
each
had
other?
the
These two, did
worst
you see
economic
that?
growth in the entire
Liberals
G7.
bought a pipeline and
we
built a
cannot
pipeline.
afford
They're
a
pretty
fourth
pro-pipeline.
liberal term. We need a change, and the Conservative plan for a change will include repealing the anti-pipeline law so we can
Singh
get our energy to markets other than the
is
United
doing
States.
better
Singh
at
than Mr.
combating
While these two compete
Pierre.
about who's more pro-pipeline, I think what we need to do is, I mean, it's clear. The Liberals bought a pipeline. They built a pipeline. I don't know what Pierre is complaining about. That's what they did. I think what we need to do, if we're talking
Back
about
in
energy
action.
in our
Welcome back,
country,
Samson.
we need to build an east-west grid. Let's use our power as a nation to build a national project that creates good jobs, that strengthens us for the future, where we connect the low-cost
Pierre
energy
is-
from jurisdictions and provinces
know.
across this
We'll
beautiful
see.
land
We'll
and
see.
have low-cost energy for businesses, for people, so we can build a stronger economy. That's the energy of the future that we need.
Mr. Carney.
3 quick points. First,
3 quick points.
The pipeline built, yes, TMX built. That's why oil exports up 50% over the course of the last few years. Secondly,
I don't think that's a bragging
Mr. Singh is absolutely right about the East-West grid interconnections, which is part of the energy corridor. Huge opportunities for this country. We have to be able to do more than one thing. Third point, fundamental point. We can give ourselves far more than Donald Trump can ever take away. If we have one Canadian economy, not 13, and if we just look at that agreement we got with the provinces, look at what Ontario and Nova Scotia have just announced in terms of their steps towards this. This is
What's
within
your
our grasp.
sentiment on the East
Mr.
Coast?
Blanchet,
Zernev,
what
if you're
should we
still
be
here,
prepared to
what's
concede
the
in our
vibe like on the
negotiations
East
with
Coast?
the United States?
I want to be back to something that Mr. Carney said. You can't do something and the opposite, and you can't fill people's mind with nonsense. Quebec has, by law, its own environmental review institution, and you cannot, through a federal decision, even through a Quebec government decision, go over the BAP, as we call it. If the BAP says no, it's no.
I know.
Good.
I know,
Let's
but this
keep
is
that in mind.
This is the point. This is, if I may, this is the point. The federal government can do the following, which is to take the decision to abide by the decision of the Quebec BAP. That is within the federal government's power. That is known as cooperative federalism. That's what we need to do.
And do you
in a-
understand
this
one
is
other
what-
point
This is
fast?
what we need. This is what we need to do in a crisis.
Bref Moïse, and then Mr. Poilievre.
Yeah. The building of those pipelines will take at least 10 to 14 years. Mr. Trump will be 90 years old, not president
Hopefully
no
dead.
more.
I mean,
and
what?
somebody of course, less terrible will be there before you can even dream of having oil through this pipeline of yours.
We're less than a minute to go, Mr. Poilievre.
I mean, the
promised you
Liberals
next.
have.
Listen, after the last 10 years of Liberals blocking
What would you
pipelines
concede to the U.S. is the
and
next
killing
question.
jobs,
Sounds wild when you
we
say that.
actually
Sounds
we
like-
actually need to get things
that makes
done.
sense.
We need a change, and our conservative plan for change will repeal the No New Pipelines law. It will create a true
Jagmeet
one-stop
is making
shop.
look
Set
is
up
making Mark Carney look really
shovel-ready
good.
zones with pre-permitting so that we can approve LNG liquefaction export plants,
Jagmeet
mines,
is making
pipelines,
Carney look really good to the people
nuclear
who are
plants,
waffling
and
between this guy and
also
Carney.
hydroelectric dams so that we can generate the power we need to be strong, self-reliant, and stand on our own 2 feet for a change.
Last quick word to Mr. Carney.
Okay, quick word. Bringing it
Last
back
quick word.
to what
Just-
we were talking
sorry,
about, which is
sorry,
tariffs,
just one more
threats to
thing.
Canada,
Sorry, just one more
how
thing.
to negotiate. We need these options. We need these options to build domestically, to build one Canadian economy.
Depends
we
on
need
who
to
you ask.
act. We
Touchy
need to diversify
subject.
our
Most
trade
places
partners,
you
and
walk
that
in,
will
people are
give
saying
us
no
a nice
politics.
segment
Yes,
of
That
yeah.
is our time. Okay, you know my
Yeah.
job tonight. I got to be the
It's
heavy guy here
contentious,
every now
yeah.
and then, making sure everybody comes to time.
We've
And
got
I'm
trade
keeping an eye
distance
as
back.
well on making sure that everybody gets rough justice over here. That concludes our first section and our first debate. Up next, affordability
Didn't
and
really
the
get
cost
anything
of
there.
living.
Saying is but the thing is, but I'm just
Our
gonna turn it
goal
down just for a
is to
second.
double the pace of
Username here. The point of the thing is that is the position of the opposition or a minority party. So like the Bloc and the NDP are minority parties, and so the Liberal Party has to work with them. That's the point. It's not necessarily a sellout. I mean, you like credit where credit's due is he got the pharmacare and dental through, but he bought a bit too much into the Liberals' plan. I would agree with that. I wouldn't call him a sellout because that's the point of the smaller parties.
None of which have been met. Why do you think your housing plan will be any different?
I'm going to be
Let me
honest
start by
and very
talking
transparent.
to the young
I
people
really
of
like
the nation and those who
Mark
are aspiring
Carney's-
to home ownership. You know, it was only 10 years ago.
Mark Carney's
You could
housing
buy
plan.
an average house for $450,000. But in the last lost Liberal decade, housing costs have doubled.
I want to do a tally of how
rising
often he
faster
says
than
that.
in any country in the G7.
That's not
and
true.
So now our youth cannot afford a home.
He's just-
and our seniors are worried about being evicted.
It's not
We can't afford
the
a fourth
fastest
Liberal
growing.
term of rising housing costs. We need a change. And our conservative plan for change
Watching
will,
YouTube on this
one,
is interesting. It is.
axe the federal sales tax on new homes. 2, incentivize municipalities
okay.
to cut their construction taxes to bring houses down in cost by $100,000. 3, sell off federal land for homes. And 4,
that is the worst
train up
thing.
350,000
Do not sell off federal
young
land.
trades
Oh my
workers
God.
who can help build
Use
those
the federal
homes.
land to create
Because
federal housing.
you deserve a home, and we're going to make it happen for a change.
Also on the issue of affordability, Mr. Singh,
Yeah,
you get the next
Baldur's
question.
Gate
How do you
3
bring down
cutscenes are
grocery
really
prices
lifelike.
in the midst of a trade war?
I appreciate the I appreciate the question. This is a big concern. When I talk to Canadians, they tell me they're really feeling squeezed from the cost of living. That's one of the top things that people tell me about. People are saying, I can't afford to buy groceries. Every time I go to the grocery store, it's just
This is just
ongoing
posturing.
worry and this feeling of anxiety that can I actually afford the things that my family needs? On top of that, people are
What's
worried
your
about
plan
the cost
for
of homes.
it?
I think those are
Talk
the two
about your
biggest things I
plan.
hear. So we can do things about this. Other countries have taken concrete steps. We can put in a price cap on food essentials. France has done it. Greece has done it to great success. It's brought down the cost of food significantly.
I mean, they're
in
talking
both
about
those
cutting housing
jurisdictions.
costs,
We
for
can also
sure.
ban corporate landlords from
Wait
buying up the
until
affordable
Mark
homes
Carney's
to keep
plan
homes
is,
that are
if he
affordable,
does it,
affordable.
I'm
We can
actually
make
really
things better for
excited about
Canadians,
it.
But it requires having the courage to take
Yo,
on
this mod
the
is crazy
powerful
for Baldur's
corporations that are
Gate.
ripping you off, that are price gouging you. And we know that price gouging is one of the major reasons why food prices are going up. You're never going to hear Pierre Poilievre or Mr. Carney talk about the fact that these are the corporations
Thank you,
ripping you
Mr.
off.
Singh.
I
That's
will.
time. Mr. Blanchet, I want to ask you
No
about old
housing
age
plan in
security,
there.
which
No
will soon
housing
cost
plan.
this country $100 billion annually. We understand you would like to expand it. How would you pay for that?
We would want it to be just for everybody because the Liberals have created a discrimination against elders which are 65 to 75 years old, having 10% less income from federal government than those who are over 75. But the best way to do it is to have everybody pay its fair share in terms of tax.
He's
which
talking about
means
old age
that one
security.
should not be
Singh talked about
entitled
food
to
prices,
hide money
and the other
in
two talked
fiscal
about
paradise in
housing.
order not to pay him or his clients or friends, not to pay billions of dollars in taxes that could be used.
I feel
to
like old
help
age
the situation
security
of
right
elders.
now
Those are things
is
which are
not
supposed to be
a
applied,
issue of
applied
focus
to,
in Canada.
applied to everybody. There are a lot of questions to be answered about that. Other ways to do it is to reduce the pressure on housing price.
There we
to
go.
make sure that the whole budget of elders
If
and
Mark wins the ranking, right,
families
listen.
and workers can afford houses which have increased dramatically in
Merci,
price.
Monsieur
in Quebec
Blanchet.
recently.
That's time for this one. Mr. Carney, I want to ask you about
I feel like
housing,
he said nothing.
which over the past decade has gone from a problem to a crisis while the Liberals were in power.
So this is a
your
genuine
policy
problem.
on getting homes built any different from your predecessors, and how?
This is one of the reasons why I entered this contest. Because of the housing crisis, the cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, and the Trump crisis to help fix it. And I would say, look, the housing approach is fundamentally different because we need a fundamentally different approach. We need to build housing at a rate that we haven't seen since the end of the Second World War. We do need a fundamentally different approach. And with the fundamentally different approach, we can build an entirely new industry. So the question is how? Now, Mr. Poilievre and I agree on some things. Okay. I agree as well on reducing the tax on first-time home purchases as a way to buy. But I am focused on increasing the supply of homes and doing that in a way that uses Canadian technology and modular prefabricated housing, that uses Canadian lumber, including in reinforced timber, and uses Canadian workers. And in all respects, we're scaling up to double the
Talk
rate
about
of
the
home
Crown
building.
Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. That's time. We now move
He
to
didn't
open forum
mention
here. And
he
Mr.
wants
Singh,
to
you get the
create a
first
new
comment.
Crown Corporation that will build
many of
houses.
you have pledged to cut the GST on many aspects of buying a home. And Mr. Singh, I want to ask you, would you cut the GST on anything else in order to make life more affordable?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm the only one on this stage that fought to give people a GST holiday. Interestingly, while that GST holiday helps working class folks, middle class folks by taking off the GST off essentials, the Conservatives under Pierre Poilievre voted against that. They opposed the idea of giving people, actual
Stay
folks
inside
that
or
need
starve or
help,
being
a
homeless,
tax
being
break,
able to
and
eat.
would rather give millionaires a tax break, which shows you whose side he's on, which is not surprising. But what is surprising is that Mr. Carney also said that giving people a break on their GST is a bad idea. Mr. Carney, why do you think giving a tax break to capital gains folks that earn more than $1 million is a good idea, but helping a family afford their groceries, helping people afford their bills for their internet, their cell phone, their home heating, giving them relief to take the GST off those is a bad idea,
but giving a tax break to people who really only earn over more than $1.4 million, that's somehow a good idea.
Okay, you went after
That's your numbers.
You went after Mr. Poilievre first, so I'm going to give him the first shot to respond.
Well, Mr. Carney, the reality is that housing costs doubled under the Liberal government. While Justin Trudeau made exactly the same promises that you are now repeating today. He promised that he would double home building. In fact, home building went down. He promised that he'd reduce the cost. In fact, it went up. And here we are. Mark Carney is asking for a fourth Liberal term, repeating the exact same Liberal promises that priced you out of a house. Just a few weeks ago, before the election,
he should have
the
just
Liberals
talked
voted
about
against
Carney
taking the
should have just
GST
talked about
off
the
new
Crown
homes,
Corporation he wanted
and they have
that he's
continued
making.
to build up bureaucracies
But yeah,
that
I like-
block
I
construction.
like his
we need a change
pragmatic
so that you can
approach.
afford a home.
Not
And our
his,
change
Carney's.
will be, again, to axe the sales tax on new homes, incentivize municipalities to speed up
But
permits,
new homes
free up
are
land,
$1.3
and cut
million.
development
Who
costs.
can afford that?
Train up 350,000 young people who can be in the trades to build those homes and sell off the land that is going to be needed in order to build homes. That is a real plan for you to own a home and afford your life for a change.
Mr. Carney, they're coming at you from both
Who
sides.
can afford a $1.3 million home?
I know it may be difficult,
We need
Mr.
to
Poilievre. You spent
get
years running
investment
against
out of
Justin
housing,
Trudeau and
as
the
in like
carbon tax,
corporate
and
investment.
they're both gone. Okay,
Out
they're
of
both gone.
homeownership.
We're in a good impersonation of them with the same policies tonight.
Very different. Look, I'm a very different person from Justin Trudeau. Focus is on results.
Were you his economic
and so how
advisor?
to drive results in the housing market.
You've
got to change
the
the model of
moderator
building.
needs to make sure
You've got to
Carney
increase
stops
the
doing his
financing
jabs.
for
There's enough
housing
houses we should
developers.
renovate or
$25 billion
renovation of the ones
on
already
the table
built.
for
It's long
those
work.
housing developers.
Worth it.
$10
Use
billion
less
for
land.
deeply affordable homes.
Like my dad, I
Cutting
didn't have.
development
My bad, I
charges
didn't
in
buy a
half,
house when I was
lowering
5.
The cost of the building
Even
of those
Calgary,
homes
I
by
know. So
20%,
Sinner, like people are moving
and
from
lowering the
Ontario
emissions
and
the
Vancouver,
run costs of those homes
Toronto,
by another
Vancouver
20%.
into Calgary.
This is how you drive affordability. This is how you bring young people back into the housing market.
Exactly what Trudeau
Carney needs to drive home that it's supply.
Very different
We need
from
to
Mr. Trudeau.
create a massive
Now,
amount of
the point
supply
is to show
and
that
make
you are
a
any better than
deterrent
Mr. Trudeau.
from
you claim to have
corporations
a lot
buying
of
these new
experience
things.
in many things, and you know things. Last time we
I
had
know.
somebody saying that they knew things. It was the senators, and they killed
Well,
the law that
so
protected
Carney is
supply
he's
management
confident.
because
Carney's
they
the
knew
guy to
better
beat
than
for
us and were
sure.
elected by nobody, exactly like you are.
He's talking about French stuff. He'll talk about French stuff. So Carney is the guy to beat. That's why they're definitely going after him. I honestly would like to see a Liberal minority government that works with the Bloc and the NDP, but I think Carney looks like he's going to get a majority. We'll see if this changes the needle on anything.
Or
But
Cayman Islands. You
Is
have to
Automod
prove
coming
something,
after
and
you?
you have to reveal what you own
There you go.
in those companies if you want people to believe
So
you.
we need.
Yes, returning to
we
the
need
topic of housing.
state-owned-
Now, it's very important.
We
Obviously,
can't.
need to build
We
homes that
shouldn't
people
sell
can
off
afford.
government
Mr.
land.
Poilievre
We
had the
need
opportunity to
government-owned
show us
housing.
what he could do. He was the Minister of Housing under Stephen
Yes.
Harper, and during
Here-
that time,
here
guess how
was
many
the
homes he
housing
built?
op-
He built 6 homes during that entire time. This is not something you can trust to build homes. He built 6
200,000.
homes.
200,000.
And this has
He
been
did.
confirmed again and again. He built
200,000.
6 homes. That's it. Now, the problem, though, with Mr. Carney is while he's laid out a plan, the problem
I
is
know,
that
not
when
buying
he
your
was
house
the
at 3 o'clock. I
chair
know so
of
much. I'm
Brookfield
Italian. First time
Investments,
seeing Canadian
this is
politics.
a
So cool.
company that
Thank you,
made a
Danielle.
strategic decision to buy up affordable homes in cities like Toronto where people were paying a decent rent. And they purposely bought those homes, kicked out the tenants,
We need
and
to
jacked up the rent.
disincentivize
That is not someone you can trust, sadly, to deal with the
corporations
housing
from
crisis.
buying
Mr.
up
Carney, you profited
supply.
off of it.
We're going to get responses here. Mr. Poilievre first, Mr. Carney second.
There's
First of
tons
all,
of land,
Mr.
not
Singer,
used. Well,
I mean,
the
there's-
Toronto
6 right here.
Star, the Toronto Star
The
debunked
Crown
your
land.
falsehoods
No, it was
on
6
that.
homes, and
I
that's the
appreciate
facts.
neither Liberals or NDP are very good with math, but in that
You're
year, the
clearly-
year I
you
was
can
the
count up to
minister, if I
6,
could,
which is great.
the year
Let's
I
let him
was,
answer.
the year I was minister, we had 200,000 homes
Doug
built, and
B,
guess what the average
you
price
can
of a
count
home
up
was
to
at the time?
6?
$450,000.
That's great.
Guess what happened
And
at the end of the Conservative reign?
one bedroom
Oh,
rented
that
out
was
for
good.
$900. And that since that time, housing costs have actually doubled under the Liberals.
They doubled
and
under
now
the
we have
Conservatives, too.
now we have Mr. Carney
China?
making tens
gonna
of
sell off the
billions
land.
of
They're
dollars
not-
of spending
they're gonna-
promises that
They
will
doubled
ultimately
that as well.
Pierre
continue
wants to
to
sell
build
off the land.
bureaucracy. We don't need more bureaucracy.
Pierre
in
says he's going to
Ottawa.
sell
We
off
tried
Crown
that for 10
land.
liberal
They're going
years,
to sell
Mr.
it to
Carney.
the U.S.
What we need is to
and
build
that's
homes
just as
in
bad,
communities.
in my
That
opinion.
means taxing taxes on home building and getting the government out of the way so that builders can actually build.
I think,
Mr. Carney,
can I pick
you
up-
are on housing. We need a change, and you, sir, are not a change.
Mark Carney.
I'm going to pick up on, I thought that answer was quite revealing. The first thing is that it's an attitude towards housing that absolutely ignores affordable housing, deeply
It's really
affordable
dumb coming
housing,
from-
issues
listen.
with vulnerable people,
So
ignores
Pierre
the rental
wants to
market,
sell off
ignores
land.
all other aspects of it. So
he wants
the
to
six
have a crown
are
corporation
the relevant. Mr.
and
Singh
create
is
public
absolutely
housing,
right.
essentially.
The six are the relevant.
200,000.
The 200,000 are a different part of the housing market. There are many Canadians. There are many Canadians at different income levels. The second thing it reveals is a misunderstanding, I'll be polite, of how the government's balance sheet can catalyze enormous private investment. And that is what we need to do to solve the housing crisis. It happens to be what we need to do as a whole to address the economic crisis that's been forced on us by
I know.
President Trump.
Somebody needs to go and pluck his eyebrows. I know.
You have spoken much more than I have, so I won't ask a question. I will make a statement instead. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that you cannot do what you pretend that you are able to do. We just have no proof so far. I'm saying quite clearly that you cannot be entitled to do it alone. You cannot be entitled to hold all the power in your two hands. You cannot go out there and fix things for Canada and Quebec.
Carney's Liberal
without
Party is
being
much closer. I know to
seriously
Stephen
checked
Harper's
by
conservative and
serious
PP's
people.
conservatives. I know.
You cannot go out there,
I know,
and speak
Sinner.
for Quebec without Quebec having its own
Like,
strong
Mark Carney,
voice to protect
10,
itself and to
15
promote
years
its
ago,
different economy.
could have been
So
a candidate
if you want
for
to
the
collaborate,
Conservative Party.
Let's say right now that whatever
He
happens,
worked,
even
you
if
know,
minority
under.
government
It's
happens,
hilarious to me.
You will be a partner with the different Quebec economy and identity, which you have been.
I think
not interested in for
Quebec identity. I'm sorry that I keep muting him. He's not going to be prime minister. He's only talking about typically Quebec interests. The thing about what's crazy to me, I think the difference for me, Mark Carney is much more conservative and right-leaning than I would like. Like, he's much more centrist. But Mark Carney, I think, fundamentally believes what he's saying, versus Jagmeet can talk a good talk. This guy, he can talk a good talk, but he just doesn't back up his
By
words.
letting them access their services if you're a senior and a kid. I fought for childcare to make sure people could afford childcare. All measures that Mr. Polyev voted against. All measures that Mr.
There's been some
Blanchet
stuff on
voted
social
against.
media
so if you
that
want
I
someone
very
that's gonna
disagree.
fight for you
I've
in Ottawa
disagreed
to actually
with.
make life more affordable. You
They
can't
partnered
entrust
with
all the power
online
to Mr.
commentators.
Carney. He doesn't have a track record
And
of
then
making
wouldn't
life
back
more
them
affordable
up
for
when
people,
they
but we
got
do.
hate.
So vote for a New Democrat, and we'll continue this work to make life more affordable for you, while the Conservatives and the Bloc have voted against those measures to make life affordable, because that's not who they care about. New Democrats are in it for you.
Pierre Polyev.
The number one expense for families
But,
today is
I mean,
taxes,
in my
more
riding-
than they spend on food, clothing, and shelter combined. This after 10 years of liberal tax increases.
It's not-
We can't afford a
I
fourth
I
term of
feel
high
like
liberal taxes. That's why
nobody talks about
Conservatives
that
have a
it's
plan
not
for change.
tax hikes.
And that
It's
plan
the
includes
fundamental
very
cost
measured
of the
up
house.
cutting income taxes by 15% for the average worker and senior,
Newfoundland
saving
is still
a
in
working
debt to
couple
Quebec.
up to
They fucked us in the
$2,000,
past.
rewarding
I don't know
hard
much
work
about
again.
that.
Because
I'm
hard
just
work
thinking
is
childcare costs.
actually
What about the trees you
being
get the lumber for the houses? Where do you get them?
is actually
They need to
being
store more car and
punished
can't deforest
because
more.
of the very high taxes.
Well, and then
Now, the
he
Liberals
wants to
promised
sell. Pierre
10
wants to
years
sell off
ago
public land
they
that
would lower
has
them.
our
They actually
timber.
raised taxes on 9 out of 10 Canadians. We
I
need
know.
a change in this
I-
country
like-
because your hard work should once again pay off with a powerful paycheck that buys you an affordable
Sinner, I think,
food,
like,
affordable
Carney's
home
more of like
on
a-
safe street,
not
and that's
co-
what we will
like,
deliver.
he's
I'm
a
gonna save people
communitarian.
$2,000, but cut their dental care,
That's
which
false.
is thousands of dollars.
False.
Cut their child care, which is thousands of dollars. Cut pharmacare coverage, which is thousands of dollars.
False.
That's not a very good math deal right there. You're gonna save people $2,000, but
Pierre
cost them tens of thousands of dollars.
has
That's
no
why
means
you
to
cannot
balance
afford conservatives. And
the
you
budget
certainly
that
can't
he's
deliver
proposing.
on your
Mark Carney's
own.
turn.
You need New Democrats.
Mark Carney.
I'm going to reinforce that point, and then I'll
This
respond to
moderator
Mr.
is
Blanchet. Child care in this
He
country,
does look like he's reading
$3,000 to
false.
$10,000 a year
He's like
for
a
a family,
school
depending
child.
on where you live.
Province.
I know you are, but
But
what am I?
depending on where you live, that's what's being saved there.
yeah,
$800
Senior-
per trip to the dentist. We have expanded dental care
Province
to 8
jurisdiction.
million Canadians.
Because we
8
forced it.
million Canadians.
Because New Democrats were there.
Pharmacare. These are fundamental issues for affordability. We're talking about affordability and taking them off in order.
That's why you need
to
New
cut
Democrats.
tax.
That's not what I've said.
And in
I will be
terms
cutting
of
income taxes
working with
Shut
Quebec,
up,
for
Pierre.
Canadians.
yes, absolutely. Throughout the short time I've been Prime Minister, working directly with the Premier of Quebec, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, our Minister of Finance are from Quebec. Quebec and Quebec issues, whether it's
Why
supply
haven't you answered
management,
Mr.
language,
Legault's letter? He asked 5 things in the letter. He reduced his expectations.
We're talking about-
And you did not even answer him. And tonight, you are so much in love with Quebec.
Steve, the question that Canadians have to ask.
Why vote for
Whether-
Mr.
why-
He's got the
What?
Mr. Singh, Mr. Singh, sorry, he has the floor. Come on.
That was confusing.
The question you have to ask is, after a decade of liberal
Lost
promises,
liberal years.
can you afford food? Is your housing more affordable than it used to be? What is your cost of living like compared to what it was a decade ago? And are you prepared to elect the same liberal MPs, the same liberal ministers, the same liberal staffers all over again for a 4th term? Mr. Carney, Justin Trudeau's staffers are actually here with you at this debate in Montreal, writing the talking points that
I'm
you
not
are
willing to
regurgitating into
sell
the microphone. How can we possibly
my
believe that
beliefs
you are
for
any
a free
different
house?
than the previous 10 years of
Or
liberal
I'm not
government?
willing to
5
sell
seconds
out
left in
my
this segment
beliefs
for you to
for
respond to that.
an affordable home.
I do my own talking points. Thank you very much. The biggest risk we have to affordability, the biggest risk we have to this economy is Donald Trump. So first and foremost, we've got to get that
Okay.
right. Secondly, we need to do it in a way
And Pierre,
that brings everyone along together. That means preserving pharmacare.
For me, voting for
childcare,
Pierre
reinforcing
is-
healthcare, spending our whole
Intrusion,
social safety.
intrusion
I don't know how
in
to
Quebec
articulate it.
jurisdiction over and again. I like
the
if
clock is
we're
on
any
zero.
better than we are.
The clock is
there
on zero.
one thing Canadians can do that Quebecers cannot do? You are doing intrusions in our jurisdiction with our money, pretending you are better, and most of the time you try to copy what we did with our own money against us.
Gray.
What's that as a policy? Don't you have
Gray.
your own things to
Gentlemen,
care about?
that really is time for this segment. I wanted to be polite and let everybody finish their
But
points,
I'm
but
far
we
beyond,
got to move
so
on.
I took the liberty.
Thank you. Okay, that ends section 2. Up next, public safety and security.
okay, what I was trying to say was
To protect Canadians.
what I was gonna say is that like Pierre's talking about, you know, the houses are too expensive, cost of living, but I will not concede on my moral on my internal moral compass for an affordable house. And even still, he's not going to be making housing more affordable because and nobody's addressing the elephant in the room that the problem is corporate ownership of housing.
Safety and security. For a lot of people, that means the fentanyl crisis. I'd like to know what you could contribute to ending that crisis in this country.
The fentanyl crisis is a
I get
very
married someday.
serious
All right,
issue,
Zernev.
which is a bit less important. in
I do
Quebec
have to
than it is
end.
in
I'll have to
British
end
Columbia.
stream at like
I
5.
think the whole border thing is the real
We're not going to be able
issue.
to watch the whole debate.
Immigration is a very important issue for Quebecers. Immigration has to be dealt with in an orderly fashion.
That was
Our
weird. The captions, it
borders
said
are
British
not
Columbia.
dealt with in an orderly fashion. The rules are not respected. The rules are unclear. Some rules even
know.
invite people to
people
hide
don't
for
realize-
2 weeks
it's not that they
illegally
don't realize
before coming out.
both Mark
Some things has
Carney
to be
and
done.
Pierre Poilievre benefit
the
from not
situation
mentioning it,
of
'cause they're
one
both-
person asking for asylum
For-
may take
well-
as much as 4 years.
Yeah,
without
McDonald's
us
makes more from rent
reducing
than
the
actual
number
sales.
In order to deal
That's the
with
value
them
of
in
McDonald's, is
a
their land
human
ownership,
way.
not
the
what they
services
sell.
for every citizen in Quebec are being reduced because we cannot afford the fact that we are receiving much, much more people in Quebec from this specific type of immigration than we can afford, and we cannot teach them French.
That's time, Mr. Blanchet. We can, of course, return to the immigration issue during open debate should you
We
choose
will.
to. Mr. Carney, question for you. The Liberal gun buyback policy, not considered a success by many people. Reviving it is in your platform.
Yeah.
Why would it work this time?
Yeah, I think, well, what we've seen with that policy is some success at the commercial level, but not at the individual level, because it hasn't been in my opinion, it hasn't been organized properly, and it needs to be organized properly. And I've instructed the Minister of National Security and Public Safety in order to do that. So part of this is a different focus of government, a focus on results, a focus on clear milestones in the short term. Let me make a broader point, though, on gun, which is that we have a problem with guns coming over borders, which is why we've tightened our borders. We have an issue, though, with a gun industry that is continually coming up with new forms of assault rifles, mass killing machines. We've banned over 2,000 of these. Every single time there has been a vote in the House of Commons on gun control, Mr. Poilievre has voted against it. You can't be tough on crime unless you're tough on guns.
Mr. Poilievre, you can come back on that in the open debate if you want to, but my question for you in this segment is, Indigenous people are a system. Are you concerned that your tough on crime platform will make that worse?
I'm concerned that Indigenous people are disproportionately the victims of crime. I give you the example of a wonderful group of Indigenous people who came under attack in Saskatchewan, and many of them were murdered. Killer was out of jail after 60 prior convictions. This is the result of 10 years of liberal laws.
I feel like he just
that
made
allow
up that
the same offenders
experience.
to be released dozens and dozens of
I feel like
times,
he just made that
even
up.
when it's known they are a danger. We can't risk a fourth liberal term of soft on crime policies. We need a change. And the Conservative plan for change will bring in a 3 strikes you're outlaw. 3 convictions for serious crimes, you go to jail for at least 10 years, maybe for life, no chance of parole or bail. We will bring in life sentences for traffickers of fentanyl, human beings, and guns, and we will secure our borders to keep the illegal
Thank you,
guns
Mr.
out.
Poilievre.
Like, I don't
Time.
have
Mr.
enough.
Singh, your
What did he
question is
didn't
about
give
the
a
RCMP,
name?
because
I don't know
you've
how
got
to fact check
RCMP
that.
reform in your platform. What, in your
I'll
view,
probably go
is the
back.
problem with the RCMP?
Yeah.
Well, some of
Because
the
the
basis
liberals
for
are
this
soft
is
on
the
crime.
concern that's been
Even
raised
though
in more rural communities and
policing
northern communities that
is
there
a
have been some serious
provincial and
concerns
a
about,
municipal
violence
mandate.
or inappropriate use of force when it comes to the
The
execution of their duties.
police forces
we wanna
are
make sure that we've
organized on a
got,
municipal level.
top-tier police force that
That'd
provides
be like saying it's like
security
the
and safety to
Vancouver
those communities
PD,
in a way that's
you know,
sensitive and
Calgary
understanding of the
PD.
communities they're serving. I also think what's very important is for Indigenous communities,
He
Indigenous
wants
policing.
to
This is an area of
overrule
deep
the
concern.
justice
I think
system. The
everyone
justice
in our
system is,
country
you know,
should be
kind of
safe.
separate from
You should be able
our.
to be safe at home, safe when you go
It's
to
a
work.
separate. Our
safe
judiciary
if you
branch
take
is
public
separate from our
transit,
government, and he
safe
wants
for
to
your kids to be able
overrule
to play in the local
our
playground,
courts.
and that's something I'm committed to.
I know,
And
you
the
can't be
other
tough
area
on
that
crime
I'm
if you
focused
aren't
when it
on
comes
guns.
to
Exactly.
Public safety is making sure we prevent crime before it happens, and that's why we want to see increased investments in our border security. We saw under the Conservatives, they cut 1,100 border officers in one day. So that prevented our ability to keep our borders safe. That stops those
Okay,
materials from
Mr.
coming
Singh,
into the
that's
country.
time. Not sure it was about the RCMP, but maybe we can get back to that during the open debate segment, which we go to right now. And
He's
Mr.
kind
Poilievre,
of-
you get the first word on
the
this one,
moderator
and it sort
kind of
of
looks like he's
dovetails on
been
the last answer
yassified
you
a little
gave,
bit.
which is
I shouldn't make a
you have
comment on.
pledged to be the first prime minister in this country to use the notwithstanding clause,
Yes.
setting aside charter rights of, as you call them, multiple murderers.
He wants
Why
to
do you think that's
override the
necessary?
Charter of Rights and
To
Freedoms.
be clear, I want to uphold the charter rights of
No,
Canadians
he
under
wants to
Section
override
7
it.
to life, liberty, and security of the person. Right now,
Oh, Dahlia!
that right is violated
Oh, no.
by multiple murderers who are
Oh, no,
given
Dahlia.
discounts. The case in question.
You know what? I don't want to listen to this man. Let's mute him.
Announcement. Sex Club.
Welcome in, Dahlia. We're watching the federal leader debate. We're watching the Canadian federal leader debate. Welcome in. Whoops. I'll just mute this smarmy little face right here. Dahlia, Violet, Chani. Were you playing Assassin's Creed? Welcome in. Hi, Raiders. We are live on YouTube as well. We've had to ban a number of people because they're wild now. It was fine before Baldur's Gate, but we'll get back into this. We're watching our leadership debate. Dahlia, if you need to raid and run, de-stress, de-stream. If you wanna like, we can be meh. I can. It's like, oh, tough on crime. We're gonna keep guns. We're gonna be tough on crime. We're gonna keep murderers in jail. We're gonna override the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's what he's saying right now. That's what he's saying right now. He talks just like this. He talks just like this. The politics did bring out the feral people for sure. But essentially, I'll go over this guy is the blue. If you're American, the colors are inverted. Blue is conservative. Red is kind of center left. Boo this man! Boo! Throw the tomatoes. Throw the tomatoes. He's very good at public speaking. Absolutely. He's very relatable for sure.
Charter of Rights,
Sing for
Freedoms,
sure.
which is 43 years old, literally today. I think it's a very dangerous slope to override judgments of the Supreme Court of Canada. In fact,
Picks up Riz and throws him at this man.
Exists to protect Canadians from
This is
people like us on the stage. Politicians who may use their power to override
This is interesting.
fundamental rights. And the issue
He said
in using by
that's
the
an
federal
interesting
government, I'll
position
stop here,
that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms is
is
used to protect.
not where you start.
Interesting. I like that
Where
angle.
will you stop?
Mr. Polyev,
This
I
guy
should get Mr. Polyev on that. Is it a
is
slippery
this
slope
guy.
to use it in this case?
I must say, I would be quite interested too, because Mr. Carney said that he didn't want us to use the notwithstanding clause before
This
adopting
guy
the law. And yesterday he
is
said that
this
he
one.
felt that it was
And
wrong
his
to
party
use
would be like if
the
there was a party of
notwithstanding
California.
clause
Or like the
after
party of
law is
Texas.
adopted. So if we cannot use
This
it
guy
before
only
and we
focuses
cannot
on
use
Quebec,
it
typically.
after, it means that Mr. Carney believes that we should never use it. But it is very important. And the Ford case
The
made it
notwithstanding
clear. The
clause has
Constitution
been used
says
provincially, but
how
not
it
federally.
should be used, but never
It's
how
to protect us
or
from the
what
government.
we will do with it because it's the prerogative of the provinces. So
Prerogative.
do
He
you
sounds
want
very fun to
the
listen
Supreme
to.
Court to overrule another judgment of the same Supreme Court because you don't like it, because that would be being the hell of a politician as you define them.
Well, let me just start by saying, first of all,
As you define them.
I just started by saying, let's not let
As a
Mr.
Californian,
Polyev get
so
away with
but it would be
making
like
this
it'd be like if you
claim
had
that
the
anyone
Democrats,
on this stage
Republican,
thinks
and the
that
Party of
violent
California.
crime should get
That's kind of
a
what it's
less
like.
severe penalty. Obviously, that is not a special position that he's taking. Everyone agrees that horrible crimes should have horrible sentences. Judges are equipped to do that, so don't let Mr. Polyev's rhetoric confuse people. Obviously, everyone agrees that if someone does something horrible, they should pay a horrible price for it. There should be appropriate sentence that's put in place by a judge. But what I'm concerned about is all of what Mr. Polyev is talking about is after the fact.
I'm gonna take one motherfucker and hit him with another motherfucker. That
severe
meme.
penalties put in place. But we also need to keep communities safe. And that's what my focus is. Well, how do we stop crime before it happens? Much of the violent crime that's committed
He
is
kind of
committed
does,
by
Slim.
illegal
He's like
handguns and
he
firearms
wants a
that
little
come across the border. Now,
he
Mr.
wants
Polyev
with
has admitted that as well.
more power
that it
for
is
Quebec,
illegal
and if that
handguns
means
and
more
illegal
power for
weapons
each
that are
province,
used in
that's
violent
fine by
crime.
him.
So our plan is let's stop those illegal weapons getting into our country in the first place. And the way we do that is by having stronger border security officers and having more people on the border. Mr. Pierre Polyev, when he was in power in the Conservatives, they cut the number of border officers.
What's
They
interesting-
reduced the number,
Let's get
weakening our borders.
keeping an eye
His
on time.
party-
Trust them
Let's
to
get
do
back
these
to
type of
Mr.
things.
Polyev on the issue of whether
He's at
using the
risk
notwithstanding
of
clause under
losing
these
party
circumstances
status.
would be a kind of a
Like
slippery slope.
they're
and
looking
encourage
like they're going to
politicians
lose
use
a
it
lot
more.
of seats.
No, we will use it to protect the charter rights of law-abiding Canadians. I'm interested in the rights
Did you hear
of
that?
victims.
Did you hear
Mr.
that?
Carney
Of
seems to be very
law-abiding
interested
citizens. The Charter
in
of
the
Rights and Freedoms
of
applies
criminals.
to every Canadian,
He says that
whether
it's
they're
dangerous
a criminal or
for
not.
me to ensure that mass murderers stay behind bars for
They
life.
do.
You know what's dangerous? Turning them loose on our streets. I don't think you appreciate, sir, the chaos that is unfolding in communities. In Toronto right now, the police have been forced to tell people to just let the thief steal the car. When they break into the house, just take the keys. Just let them take the keys so that you don't get hurt. People are living in terror in many of our communities precisely because of the catch and release bail law, C-75, which requires judges release the accused at the earliest opportunity under the least onerous conditions. Every single member of your Liberal caucus and your Liberal cabinet voted in favor of this bill.
According to the judgment of the
Oratrice
Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal.
Constant promises to the
No,
contrary.
he's smarmy.
Mr. Carney, Canadians deserve to live in peace and security. That is the right that I'm fighting for a change.
We don't
I'm
need to
fighting for that
infringe
as
upon the
well.
rights.
And let me be specific
he
about two
wants
things that have been
to
raised.
use the Charter and
The
Freedoms
first
to kind
is
of
with
override
respect
due process.
to, these issues of car theft
Also,
home invasion.
I'm gonna mute Carney for a second. I'm gonna mute Carney for a second. So the right now, if you have like if you kill somebody and you get charged with 10 first-degree murders, right? You don't. There's a bail process. Like at the end of it, let's say you serve a life sentence or you serve 25, the maximum is 25 years. You serve 25 years or whatever, then you get a chance at parole. But you have to apply, like the thing is that everybody gets to apply for parole, but because they're a violent offender, they will be immediately not allowed for parole because they're a violent offender. They're not like, it's not like letting people out. It's just giving them the process like, hey, you killed people, you can apply for parole, denied. It's just that they're allowed to apply for parole. And then they get denied. Patch 8, look, I know, this patch 8 is crazy. You guys, Baldur's Gate patch 8. Yo, Gortash? Dara? Okay. Who is more visually appealing? Pierre Polyev or Gortash? Pierre Polyev or Gortash? You speaking to the due process? No, listen, it doesn't help true criminals. Everybody deserves due process because what happens when the government determines who deserves due process or not? Everybody deserves due process because the government should not be allowed to determine who gets due process. That is the slippery slope. They're not allowed parole, JK. They're allowed the ability to apply for it, and then they get denied. They're allowed the ability to apply for it. It's just the slippery slope of allowing people to the government to decide the government getting to decide who gets rights and doesn't. That is the slippery slope. They just automatically get denied.
They're saying we need to do everything possible to save lives.
Parole is a legal right.
This death from happening. And I think we need to listen to those moms, and that's my commitment.
They do not. They do not.
Two things as rapidly as possible.
Completely
First,
false.
we believe that we should act on crime gangs and organizations, defining them as we do for terrorist organization. We have to protect our kids from the violence of those gangs, from the drugs being sold by those gangs, from the
because the matter is, I can go. I know I can go outside. I can go outside on a walk at 8, 9 p.m. and I'm totally safe. This is fear mongering. It's fear mongering.
By those gangs, sold and sold. Not sold. Being
the government makes the laws, and you're because
selling, sold. Yeah, sold by those gangs.
It's not the government. Okay, there's a process. The judiciary system is separate from the government, and he wants the government overreach into the judiciary system.
Of parents like I am, this is a very dangerous situation. I want to come back to immigration because we said that we would come back to immigration.
Gangs, name them.
The Century Initiative, a sad memory. Officially,
who should get to decide if they go on parole? Non-government judges.
Quebec difference. They had not considered Quebec language. They wanted Canada.
I'm not sure what you're meaning there,
100 million
JK.
people. Country by the end of the century.
I know, fear-mongering is how
Mr.
people
Barton
get these
told
votes.
Himself.
Fear is an excellent motivator.
Thought about the Quebec difference in that analysis, and one of his closest collaborators is now a close counselor to Mr. Carney, which seems to be part of that kind of project or ideology. So it is impossible for Canada
JK, are you Canadian or American?
Have all those people coming to Canada. It is impossible for Quebec to receive all those people.
You don't deserve rehabilitation. You don't deserve to reintegrate. I think it depends on the severity of the crime. Like the severity of the crime is.
I say, pose.
I know these tabs look so different, don't they?
Properly. Let's receive migrants in an orderly fashion and successfully as a measure of respect for them also.
A focus on rehabilitation for nonviolent crimes.
I speak to families all the time. We're terrified.
No, Slim, I know. That's why I mute him. It's just Quebec. That's his thing. That's what he does.
Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle. So when the Liberals try to ban hunting rifles, they're really going after the wrong people. 90% of guns that are used in crime are smuggled illegally over the porous, Liberal-run borders.
And that's why the police.
It's not true, and that's
you
why
literally
the police.
Cut the border officers.
The police
in the
actually,
facts.
if I could, the police actually endorsed me.
I'm trying to see if I can show you guys
in Peel, in Sault Ste. Marie have all endorsed me because they know that I will go after the gun smugglers and criminals with 2,000 extra frontline
French
border
guy,
guards that will stop
this
the guns
guy,
from coming in.
Now you want to hire
But I,
French
unlike the
guy,
Liberals and NDP,
like,
I will not ban hunting
they
rifles.
only run
the
candidates
Liberals want to
in
protect,
Quebec.
I want to protect
They
Canadians
they
from
won't
criminals.
run
The Liberals want to protect
candidates
turkeys from
anywhere
hunters.
else.
I think we know which one makes the most
Carney,
sense.
quick intervention, Mr. Carney, and then I got a question for each of you before this segment's out.
Okay. We absolutely fully
You're
support
American, but not asking when it comes to true stuff. Listen, culturally though, JK, it's very different.
Canadians. But I want to.
There's a different legal process. Culturally, it's very different.
There are people. We're in Montreal, in Toronto, across this country, who fear going
Power's
to their
separate.
synagogue.
Exactly.
Fear going to their community.
Who's winning?
Fear taking their children, leaving their children in school.
Jugmeat's got a few good barbs
this
in.
Has to stop.
He's coming off quite
it's totally
like
unacceptable.
palpable.
So what we're
not palpable,
proposing
palatable.
is to make it a criminal offense to threaten or to impede.
Pierre's
kind of
smarmy.
He's
kind of just
near or going
driving
to
in.
Their
no one,
place
yeah,
of
not
worship,
the citizens,
their school,
yeah.
their community center. This, it pains me that when we have to do it.
Carney is coming
because
off
this is
fine
not
for Quebec, which is
what we should
fine.
be doing as Canadians,
If Carney
of course,
loses
but we will
seats
put that in place
here,
let me get back. And this is a fundamental issue with respect
Let me
to
get
any
10
sense.
If Carney
seconds from each
loses
of you
seats
before
here,
this
that's
segment's
gonna be a
out on
problem.
what you perceive to be the biggest security threat to Canada right now. 10 seconds each. Mr. Polyev.
10 seconds.
The physical security threat to our country is the rampant crime wave that is running out of control. After the last decade, we had a 116% increase in gun crime. We need to lock up the criminals.
I got a whole
That's 10 seconds. That's 10 seconds.
Well, we're in a security section. I think we didn't have a chance to talk
crime
about anything
has
internationally.
increased by, I would say, probably about 10% in the last 20 years.
Mr. Singh.
Biggest security threat, illegal guns.
It's not
and
rampant,
drugs
but
coming
it
across
has
the border,
increased.
And cuts to services that would make our public safety and security even worse.
Last word to Monsieur Blanchet.
The fact that neither Quebec or Canada is able to protect itself and that we are still dependent and entirely dependent on Americans to protect us.
Okay,
Yep.
that is the end of that section, gentlemen. Up next, energy and climate.
Improving pipelines, getting things built, unleashing
Gun crime is
production.
caused by
We
illegal
are
weapons.
unlocking
Also,
major
like
infrastructure
printing
projects,
and stuff like that being
including
shipped from Canada to
conventional
the
energy,
States.
oil and
Increasing
gas.
crime is
We're
worldwide.
speaking
It's insane to say it's
thousands of
localized.
dollars
Yeah.
a year
It's not
for
caused by the
each
liberals,
family to pay
but it has increased.
for the damages of
I think it just comes from the
Absolutely build
rising
important projects
instability.
like an east-west energy grid.
Smuggled? Yeah. I mean, it's...
Energy and climate change. I know how much all of you love talking about pipelines, so here we go. Mr. Singh, to you first.
That's good.
Should Canada build new pipelines to get our oil and gas to market?
Well, it's not an approach I favor with public money. There's not any projects that are
Regen
on
the
the table. So
list?
it's not a
What are you talking
specific
about? What
project to
list?
look at. I favor, when it comes to the environment, building an east-west energy grid that connects low-cost energy and allows for families to reduce their electricity costs. But let's put this all in context.
Alberta's going to be a
We're talking about,
pain
what our
in...
energy
If
solutions
Carney
are
gets a
in the
majority
context of the climate
government,
crisis.
Alberta's
And
going to
we're
be a
not
pain
just
in his
talking
butt
about
for
a climate crisis
collaboration.
in the far future. We're living it right now.
I know, like an entire
remember I met
working
a
pipe.
mom
Let's
A
go.
couple years ago, before I had kids, who told me she was worried about taking her kids out on some days because of the forest fires in BC. It
Yeah.
meant that it was unsafe for kids to go outdoors.
I mean-
fast forward to when I became a parent, just a couple years after that, and I literally worry about the same thing. The forest fires we saw a
I was
couple
going to
years
say
ago
protecting.
meant
It's that
many
like
places that
we
didn't
don't.
see this
All of
before
our
saw
infrastructure,
days
a
where
lot
there
of our
was
like
such smoke in the air that it was dangerous for
technology,
kids.
our
We see
defense
extreme
technology,
weather,
our
forest fires,
planes,
heat
like our
domes,
fighter
floods
jets
impacting
and
us.
whatnot.
We've got to do everything we can.
Thank
All
you, Mr.
American
Singh.
owned.
That's time. Mr. Polyev, where does
Go
fighting
round
climate change
Alberta?
land on your list of priorities when it comes to
So build a
expanding
pipeline
energy opportunities in this
around,
country?
go through the Northwest and come into
It lands
BC.
within our priorities of bringing home jobs while bringing down emissions around the world. Look,
Around the world,
the reality is that
bringing
if
down
we
emissions
push
around the world,
production
Pierre,
out of our country
it's-
to more
it's-
polluting
we have to
countries,
bring down
it actually
ours.
makes the problem worse. But that has been exactly the liberal approach with the anti-development law C-69, blocking of 15
I wish
LNG
C-69 was like a
export
fun
plants,
law.
over the last 10 years. We have seen more of those jobs
Although,
go abroad. I
Alberta's
want to bring
doing-
them home.
Danielle Smith is
My
gonna be a
plan
problem.
Will
Yeah.
be to approve, for example,
But I mean,
natural gas,
we'll see if she gets.
liquefaction and export. If we sent our gas to India, for example, to displace half of their demand for electricity, we could reduce emissions by 2.5 billion tons, which is 3 times the total emissions of Canada. That's the way we bring emissions down and jobs up. It's common
It's a little
sense.
ways away.
And now
Halfway
it's time to bring
through
it home.
next.
Thank you, Mr. Polyev. The next question is for Mr. Carney. How would your government fast-track pipelines and mining projects while also following the Supreme Court decision that requires consent of Indigenous communities?
Well, I think the first thing, and this goes back a bit to where we started, which is recognizing
Pierre's whole
that we are
platform
in a
is we're not the
crisis.
liberals,
We
we need a
with
change.
maximum force.
That's his
and
whole
having
platform.
a process and a consultation, but a
He's a
consultation
career
with a
politician.
purpose,
He's
which
the
is to
first guy.
identify
Pierre has never
those
had
projects, those
a public
investments of national
job.
interest
Like he's never had
that are
not
really
a
going to move
politician's
the
job.
dial in terms of growth, jobs, energy security, well-being consistent with long-term competitiveness, which necessarily means lower carbon. And so part of that process is ensuring that First Nations, Indigenous peoples, are there from the start. It also includes their ability to participate fully in those projects, and that's why, and I know
Giving them an economic in.
when I've gone on too long, so I'll finish up, which is that's why we're doubling, our proposal is to double the Indigenous Loan Guarantee Program to $10 billion. What does that actually mean? It means
I feel
an
like
ability
it would
for them
get
to
messier
invest
if it was just two
equity
people,
in
right?
those
Thank you, Mr.
projects
Carney.
and be
That's
full
time.
partners. Thank you.
My tell is my clock, and my clock is at 0, so that's how it goes. Monsieur Blanchet, do you still oppose pipeline construction in Quebec, even though a majority of Quebecers now apparently say they support it?
We will know about that when we have held the debate about that, which has not begun yet. We are just beginning it. First, we are.
You need to understand that Quebec has a different
being
legal
fed
rights
nonsense,
than the
and we
rest
will
of the
be back to it in
provinces.
a
So
few
Quebec
minutes,
has
but
the
energy
has more
trade
authority over their province than the
commerce
rest of the provinces.
is
Essentially,
from
that's a very
south to
TLDR.
north or north to south, and it's true in Quebec.
They have
also.
like independent. They have
In a little more than
internal
3
like
years,
sovereignty,
Donald
essentially,
Trump
kind
won't
of.
be in
It's
office,
complicated.
and there will be not one.
You don't need to
more
convince me that you're
pipeline
better.
having
You need to be
built-
charismatic.
been
You need to find
built
that Pierre.
once we
that
get
the other
there.
party is worse.
So let's be
Quebec was a French
serious,
colony, exactly.
responsible,
So you know,
and
I think
we
what
will
Carney,
be back with the numbers.
like
we
these three,
don't want to pay in Quebec.
these three,
for such
these ones show that they
monstrosities
can
which
work
will
together
provide us
and they can
with
at least
nothing.
be
We now move to
collaborative.
open debate, and you all
Pierre
will
is
get
very
a chance, or have
combative.
had a chance to get the first shot at this.
He-
Mr.
oh, yeah,
Blanchet,
absolutely.
it is
Singh
your
has the
turn
most
to get the
charisma.
first shot. Canada has a substantial supply of critical minerals
He just-
which are in high demand.
He
Are
has
you in
all the right
favor
things to
of
say. He
allowing
just
these minerals
doesn't
to be
really
mined?
back it up when,
Of course.
on
It has
certain
to be
issues, when
done
things, when the
properly.
push comes to
Quebec
shove.
has probably the most important clean phosphate reserves.
But I
in North
agree with a lot
America.
of the stuff
in Saguenay-Lac
Singh
Saint-Jean.
says,
It is
and I've,
very
to
important.
be fair,
It has to be
I've
exploited.
voted
This is
NDP for
best
the
way
last
to
two
use
elections.
Paul
I'll be
Saguenay
transparent.
as an
I have.
infrastructure that we need. We have lithium.
But this
Everybody
election
needs
is
lithium.
too crucial
Transportation
to
has
split a
be
vote this year-
taken
this time.
from oil to clean energy. This is what we
Sustainable
want
way.
to be working on. It is
I
part
think
of
we
the
should be working more with
specificities
hydroelectric
specifics
dams. I'm going to be
of
honest.
Quebec
As
economy.
somebody
So
from
we are in
BC,
favor of that.
we should be working
But
on
we don't want
hydroelectric.
to pay for the 30
We should be
billions of
focusing more
dollars
on
which
that
have
than
been
pipelines.
spent on oil and gas by the Liberals last year. It's $7 billion from Quebec. We don't want to pay for the 40 billions of dollars which have been spent by the Liberals on Trans Mountain. It's
We have a lot of
$9
dams
billion
in
of
Norway.
dollars from Quebec. Those are
As long as you do the
16
environmental
billions of
assessments and
dollars,
whatnot for
of
power,
which
yeah.
not $1 has been
Hydroelectric
spent
dams,
in
when they're
Quebec
built
to develop
properly
a
and
lot
corners
more
aren't cut,
power
I think that
and,
they're a very good source
wealth
of energy.
for Quebecers with our own money.
We need to let the
Nuclear, for
leader
sure.
of the Liberals respond.
Well, actually, I was going to pick up on the enormous opportunity that exists in Quebec, exists in Ontario, exists in the north of Canada, really exists across this great nation. in
Albertans
terms
aren't
of
gonna like
critical
that.
Metals and minerals. We are have one of the biggest resources in this country. And this is, it's not just an enormous economic opportunity, it is a strategic opportunity for Canada. So we have to make a decision, not just to develop it, but how do we develop it and who are our partners for it? Do we become more dependent on the United States, which is what they want? By the way, President Trump this week said he might put a tax on critical metals and minerals, just showing again.
Yeah, but the job is not
if I may,
to-
and so the
Have a good night, Genocide.
So
Not to have
if I may,
tariffs.
if I
We
may,
can-
if
we
I
can-
may
we can
finish.
chat about it.
Let me finish. So
I'm
The
gonna let you
opportunity
finish.
includes in Europe and includes in Asia as our partners. Last point. In order to get it done, we'll put in place a first and last mile fund so these projects are connected to road and rail so they can go quickly.
According to the judgment
And
of
we
the
will have
Oratrice
all of the
Mécanique
other
d'Analyse
fast-track
Cardinal.
measures in place that I talked about earlier in terms of capital,
Hi, Jules.
timing, approvals,
Welcome
so
in.
that we can move quickly, we can be stronger at home, better.
Always with the
Mr.
approval
Singh.
of
Yeah,
Mr.
I think
Singh has the
With
floor.
the approval
we
of
should
Quebec.
absolutely take advantage of the fact that we've got incredible amounts of critical minerals in our country. And the way we do that is with any energy project or any project of this nature, make sure it's got the local community buy-in. It creates good jobs in communities, make sure we are meeting all our environmental needs, and we work with Indigenous partnership. And so I absolutely agree with that. I want to build on something Mr. Blanchet mentioned about the investments that this country has made. What I found very troubling is that the
Also, I
past
just
number of
realized that your
years, the
username is
Liberal government
Bass
record is one where
I
we've
love
spent
that
the
so much.
most
That's fun.
subsidies compared to any other country in the G7 on subsidizing oil and gas. These are highly profitable companies.
You
I
voted
think that's
for
the
it.
wrong thing to do. We fought against it again and again.
No, you voted
And then
for
the
it
Liberals have
over
continued
and
to do
again.
it. And so my question really to Mr. Carney is, will you commit to ending oil and gas subsidies?
Yeah.
We should be using that to invest in people, not giving it to highly profitable oil and gas
This
companies.
guy is the orange one.
I promise
this
Mr.
one.
Polyev the next. We'll
I
come
vote.
back
I
and get that
voted for.
question
I
alive.
voted
Ms. Polyev.
NDP twice.
Well, Mr. Carney, you point out that Donald Trump has a wrong-headed idea of putting a tax on our mines and our industry.
Why does he move his
That
mouth?
is wrong. But so do you. You want to apply a massive industrial carbon tax on Canadian mines, Canadian steel mills, Canadian aluminum plants,
You want to let them just pollute as
Canadian
much as they
oil
want?
and gas. And your idea is to double the tax that
They
Trump
write
is
down
applying
their notes.
by hitting them a
They
second
write it
time.
down.
This will do nothing for the environment. It will actually ship our jobs south of the border,
Mr.
just
Polly's plan is let them
like
pollute as much as they
President
want.
Trump
Not a good
wants. My plan is to bring that production home here to Canada. For example, I will give a tax credit to low-emitting Canadian industry like Quebec's aluminum, for example, or British Columbia's natural gas, so that we not only bring home the production, but we do it below
He
global
spent,
average
like,
levels
2
of
years
emissions,
copying
so that we
Trump's
actually help the environment while
campaign.
bringing
Wants
to
home
let
the
big
jobs
And it
for our
benefited
people
him?
We have to let him
at the
finish.
same time. That is a sensible,
He
pragmatic
spent 2
approach
years
that puts
copying
us
Trump's,
in charge of our economic destiny, so we can stand up to
polling.
the
Let me see if I can
Americans from
see.
a position of strength for a change.
He wants
Mr.
to let
Carney,
them
we've
pollute
got.
as
Hang
much
on a
as they
second.
want.
I want to give you a chance to speak to Mr. Singh's
this is
criticism about
drastic.
oil and gas subsidies and Mr. Polyev's
So he's
criticism about the
benefited
industrial
from Trump's
carbon tax.
campaign this whole
I'm gonna
time.
I'm going to make 3 points. I'll make 4 if
So
you want me to respond to that.
don't
but I
back
wanna
out
make
of it
3.
now.
The first is that
Could
we
pipelines
answered,
be
I answered this
repurposed?
question
I would
last night,
doubt-
but I think the puck had already dropped in the Canadians game, so not everyone heard it. Yes, end oil and gas subsidies. So
Ryan,
that's why you
I'm
need them.
assuming
Secondly-
you've never been
I've
outside
learned on
of
it
your
independently.
home state
Secondly,
before.
recognizing that the biggest component of that was the cost of building Keystone. Keystone, which is the pipeline
boy.
which has helped to increase oil and gas export or oil exports.
If
rather, by
I do, I know,
50% in
but
this country. That
it's
is an
just I
asset
was just trying to show
of
off
the
like
people of
how
Canada.
he's
We own it.
Pierre has
The question
benefited
is what to
from
do it. So it's not a
attaching
subsidy that has
himself.
disappeared. It's actually an asset of
So
Canada.
Pierre
Yeah, third point,
has
though, in terms
benefited
of
from
where the
attaching
oil and gas
himself to
industry, particularly the oil
Trump
industry,
campaign.
wants
kind
to and
of
needs
like
to go,
he's
which
like
is to
basically
become
plagiarized his
low
campaign.
low carbon in the production and transportation of oil. One of the big projects we
he did.
need to move forward with is carbon capture and storage.
Literally.
The Pathways Project, so that we have oil and gas that is competitive, not just today, 10 years from now and 20 years from now, as the world uses less. We want to have more market share. We need to do
Mr.
that.
Carney, by very definition-
My government will move that.
But by definition, a subsidy isn't when we buy a pipeline. I'm talking about
Canada
subsidies that go
first.
to oil and gas companies.
What does that
Independent,
sound like to you?
Separate from the country,
Canada
oil and gas
first
companies.
for a
That's what I'm
change.
The
talking
figure you
about.
quoted last night included the cost of the pipeline.
Canada
Do you want to
first for
address
a
this?
Billions of dollars
change.
of spending. We got to stop spending.
Sorry, can we get you to address his point about the industrial carbon
How
tax?
much will the industrial carbon tax add to the price of a car?
So the first thing I want to say is we
So,
have
Salthog,
I'm gonna address
though,
the broader
338
point.
is
Broader point
not
is the
a
entire
poll.
absence of a climate
This
plan,
company,
from
this
Mr.
thing
Poilievre,
is not a poll.
which,
What this
by the
is
way,
it's a conglomerate.
gonna put
These
our
are all the
industry and our
polls
country
that they
at a
take from, and they
disadvantage
do
as
an
we're
average
looking for
essentially.
new trading partners. Guess what?
They do an
Most
average of
people
all
want
of
to
these
deepen
polls.
our partnership. In
Like
Europe,
538,
in Asia.
probably,
Those
yes.
countries care about whether or not you've made progress. Second thing is, we're designing a program so that the big polluters pay Canadians at home for making responsible climate
Helium
choices
extreme
for
all times through Elon.
retrofitting their home, getting their emissions down, or
And his big
improving
role to
otherwise.
play on
And
the world
that
stage
is
after Trump's
smart
years.
climate
Honestly, pretty
policy.
important.
It's better for the
I
big polluters,
think
and it's better for
there's tough
Canadians.
times ahead, but as long as we
Mr. Carney
detach
didn't answer my
from the
question. I
U.S.,
asked how much would an industrial
we
carbon
separate
tax
ourselves from the
on
U.S.,
Canadian
we could
steel add
move
to the
forward
price
quite strongly.
of a car? And he won't answer because he knows that it will be very expensive because
mean,
there's
Danielle,
lots
the
of
problem is
steel
it's
in cars. Now, well, Mr.
I mean, it's a
Carney
long
has
process,
temporarily
but for sure.
hidden the
You don't know the
carbon
answer
tax.
either. You're just
It's
throwing out random
thousands of
questions.
dollars, thousands of
You're just
dollars
making it up, though.
in
You don't
extra
know.
costs.
Actually, I do know the answer to that question. He's wrong.
When you add taxes to steel, you raise the price of everything that uses steel. When you add taxes
straw man argument to say, do you know the price?
when
You
you
don't know the
add
price.
when
You
you
don't know the
add
answer.
when you add the carbon tax onto the price of, for example, fertilizer, you increase the
make the
price
choice
of food.
now.
So while Mr. Carney has temporarily hidden the liberal carbon tax at the pumps while keeping the tax fully in law and planning to raise it after the election, he's also going after a tax on our industry that will ultimately be passed on to you. After a lost liberal decade of rising costs, we cannot afford a fourth liberal term. We need a new government that will fully axe the carbon tax, increase the jobs that we have here in Canada, and bring down your cost of living.
We got
Trading, if we want to diversify trade as well, if we want to like output to the EU, a carbon tax is necessary. If we do not have a commercial carbon tax, we get essentially hit with like a pseudo tariff. So the carbon tax is necessary. If we want to axe the carbon tax entirely, we need to replace it with something else immediately. Pierre has no solution about what you replace the carbon tax with.
We're seeing flooding, we're seeing forest fires like never before. We are living in a climate crisis, so Canadians are absolutely worried about it. As soon as we come into a summer, we start seeing those forest fires again. It's top of mind for Canadians because they're living it, they're seeing it. And I want those Canadians to know, Mr. Carney is not going to end those fossil fuel
if we want to output like
I'm there to,
to countries
back.
that
Mr.
have
Poilievre
climate
wants to
change,
let big polluters pollute as much as they want, poison our beautiful land,
who have
water,
climate change policy, most of them have
into our ocean.
Essentially a requirement that you have your own
Monsieur
carbon.
Blanchet, on the
you have
issue
your
of whether
own
or not
carbon
people still care about
initiatives.
climate change.
I think people should be kept.
If you don't have a means
very
to reduce carbon or
informed
have
about
carbon
climate
tax,
change, because
or,
we are
or
in a
like
very
carbon
strange
tokens,
denial
it depends
situation
on the
about
wording
climate
of the.
change, which still exists and is very expensive. And I'm sorry to crash your party, guys, but
Pierre needs to replace
Clean
it.
Oil and gas is a fairy tale. Large-scale carbon sequestration, sorry, I'm French, is a fairy tale.
You're French? I didn't know that.
If Alberta wanted to exploit oil and gas and it were
I
not
know.
a matter of
Canada
pollution,
first,
I
axe the
wouldn't
tax,
mind at
build the
all.
homes.
That's their business. Our
Stop
own
the crime.
house in terms of energy in Quebec is clean energy. We are the best place in the world to achieve that. Our market is the northeastern part,
Axe the
Democrat
tax.
part of United States. We want to
Common
keep
sense.
our money to create wealth in Quebec for Quebecers.
Let me
Let
give
us
Mr.
be different because we can afford
Monsieur
to be
Blanchet,
different.
let me give. I will
Axe,
get to you because I said I
axe
would.
the sales, tax
But
on
you've
homes.
taken a couple of hits here, and I want to give you a chance to respond to some of the things that people on this side of the stage have said.
Thank you. Well, first of all,
But
we do
he's
support
done, like-
protecting the environment. We want to ban the dumping of raw sewage into our waters. We
Yeah,
want to hold large corporations to high environmental standards to protect our water and air. But we cannot do that by raising taxes and sending jobs
he had one that
overseas,
said stop
as
the
Mr. Carney
crime
is
at one
proposing to do.
point.
That has been the approach of the last 10 years of the Liberal government.
Yeah,
What the
he's
biggest
he's
companies
effective on a
that
certain
that develop our
area
resources
of the
say
internet for
is
sure.
that we need to
So
repeal the
Pierre
liberal
has
anti-development
interviewed
law,
with Jordan
C-69,
Peterson.
a law Mr. Carney wants to keep in place. They say
Like
we need to repeal the
he's
industrial
interviewed
carbon
on
tax
some very
and get rid of the
specific
liberal
areas
energy
of the
cap.
internet. You're not
We need
wrong.
6 months approvals in order to get to take back energy security and
But-
energy sovereignty.
We can summarize that. He wants to let them pollute as much as
Mr.
possible.
Carney, hang
And-
on. Last word to Mr. Carney.
The liberal part, the NDP, this guy, the orange guy, he had basically a stronghold. Where did the other thing go? The NDP here had a stronghold on a lot of the left side of the internet. And he they were doing like interviews and they were working with like other political commentators, Canadian political commentators. And there was one, oh my God, go Habs go. That's a Canadian. That's a hockey thing. The orange guy, the NDP, Jagmeet Singh. His party basically threw a lot of these NDP type, not influencers. I don't want to call them influencers, but political commentators online, and he threw them under the bus and wouldn't like back them up when they came under fire from Pierre's side. They didn't back them up. It's been a very disappointing month from the Orange NDP party.
To take back control.
Thank you,
Canadians
Danielle.
are always ready when someone else drops the gloves.
Yes, huge YouTube channels posting Pierre
leading in a
clips.
crisis is
Although what I will say is, though, Slothug, is that I believe that Pierre has exhausted his voter pool. Like there's kind of a max on where he's exhausted his voter pool. So if we go back to the this thing, like he really can't hit north of 45%. But the thing is, what the Liberal Party is doing is they're pulling from the left base. You can see this NDP downcline, and even some from the Bloc as well. And the Greens are losing. So essentially, a lot of the leftist vote, mine included, I've talked about it, although my riding is pretty a Liberal stronghold, but the left vote is transferring to the Liberal Party, but the Conservative Party has kind of exhausted their voter pool. So they can't, where do they gain votes from? Because their alternative is the People's Party of Canada, which has 1% of the vote. They really can't, there's nowhere else for him to garner votes from. And even you can see even here, like they were losing votes to Carney as well. So he's kind of hit his voter max. He's voter maxing.
On a small amount of capital spending by the
I
federal
am on
government
Twitch, yes.
in order to
Here,
drive
I can
enormous
drop
private
you a
investment
link.
up to $500 billion by 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. Ukraine surely constitutes a crisis. Leading in a time of crisis, Mr. Polyev, question for you.
I'm gonna
if
have
the
to
United
cut the
States
debate
withholds
short, though.
support from Ukraine going forward, do you believe Canada
it'll
should
post
commit
it 3
more
times, I'm
to
sorry.
assist?
I believe we should continue to
If
support
you want to
Ukraine.
follow on Twitch.
Our party supported donating missiles that the Canadian military was decommissioning. We supported funds and other armaments to back the Ukrainians in the defense of their sovereignty. We also need to rebuild our own Canadian military
3 big booms.
because the Russians want to make incursions into our waters. We'll be buying 4 massive Arctic icebreakers. I'll be opening the first
the Green
Arctic
Party
base since the Cold War in Canada.
So
CFD at
Slim,
Calumet. We're
the
going to
Green
double
Party
the
was
size
supposed to
According
be-
to the judgment of the
Rangers
Oratrice
and fill the
Mécanique d'Analyse
vacancies in our
Cardinal.
Canadian armed forces.
The Green Party was
We
supposed
need
to be
a
at this
change
debate,
to rebuild
but
our
there was a
military,
last-minute
which
change
has
and they
been
weren't
so
allowed on the
disintegrated
election
under
stage because they
the
didn't
cuts and the
qualify
mismanagement
2
of
of
the last
3
10 years. But we can't.
According to the
because
judgment of
we
the
have
Oratrice
the best
Mécanique
soldiers,
d'Analyse
sailors,
Cardinal.
and airmen in the world, and they will have full backing from my government if you give me the honor of becoming Prime Minister.
I may come back to that one in the open forum because I'm not sure we got an answer about Ukraine on that one, but okay.
Well,
going on.
He's a
Mr.
great
Blanchet.
advocate for social change. Yes.
We'll get more details, perhaps, as we go forward.
They don't have the
Mr.
confidence of a
Blanchet,
neighbor
given the
party
U.S.
portion.
trade
But,
war, should
Senior,
any talk of a referendum on Quebec independence be put on pause?
That one is easy. It will happen only after the negotiation is over, and that's a good thing. I want to say I support the idea we must help Ukraine, but we also must help the civilians of Gaza, and we must destroy Hamas, which is a terrorist organization. You know what? I don't want to be the leader of Canada. You will understand that. I don't want to be Prime Minister. But I can offer to be a
When
partner,
did he bring it up for
a
Quebec
responsible
referendum?
partner, a collaborative partner. If Quebec is respected in its differences, in its aluminum industry and lumberwood industry and culture,
He's
and
not,
French
he said he
language
doesn't want to be prime
and
minister.
values
He'd
of
never be prime
secularity of
minister
the
because he's just
state,
the leader
which
of
is the
Quebec.
price to be paid
Party.
in order to have real equality. Then, if we are respected, we will be a partner, and then even Canada will be stronger in its negotiation.
What he's talking about for Quebec
against Donald
referendum
Trump.
is
This
about
what I
if
am
they want to
afraid.
leave, essentially.
Respect us.
Mr. Singh, I watched last night's debate. You seemed very eager to talk about healthcare, so let's talk a little more healthcare right now. You have made many promises on healthcare. If a province says to you, we'll take your money for healthcare, but not your conditions on how to spend it, what do you do?
Oh, that's a good
We've got
question.
to negotiate. We
So,
can't
like,
be
if
giving
Alberta
away money without clear conditions.
wants to
We're in
privatize
a
their
healthcare
healthcare and give it
crisis
to
right now.
a
And
Catholic
a crisis
organization.
that is hurting people across this country. People are waiting desperately in line in emergency rooms for hours and hours. Seniors are waiting for years and years to get the care that they need for surgeries that would remove pain or help them deal with mobility issues. We're in a serious crisis. Healthcare
Where's the
workers
breath
are
coming
burnt out.
from?
They are overstretched. And what we're seeing is more and more privatization, and that is hurting our public universal healthcare system.
It is.
So we've got to fight back against it. We cannot allow our public money to go to a for-profit private clinic lining the pockets of a rich CEO or investors instead of going towards care.
A lot of our
we need to make sure
provinces
that
have
we are
been
investing in
privatizing
solutions where
elements
care
of our
gets to
healthcare.
people, not profiting those at the very top. And so that's my commitment. I'm going to fight to make sure we defend our healthcare
private
against the threats of
healthcare in
Americanization
BC is
and
going to
privatization.
Okay, we now
corporate,
go to open forum debate.
and
perhaps,
in
Mr.
Alberta,
Poilievre,
they're
you get
going
the first
to
word here. This might be a good
essentially
time
like a
to
religious
put a little
organization.
more flesh on the bone of what you think Canada could do for Ukraine if the U.S. backs out.
Well,
Yes, and my answer is that we should continue to support Ukraine. We don't need to follow the Americans in everything they do.
The
When
problem
they're
is
wrong,
it undercuts
we
our,
will stand
even if it
on
can
our
survive
own and
without
with
state
other
funding,
allies.
it undercuts our public
with respect to
our
Ukraine,
public
that
sector.
of course includes
It
support with intelligence,
it
equipment,
undercuts and gives a two-tiered
armaments,
healthcare system.
But
some
it
people
also
will get in
includes
faster than
defunding
others.
Putin. Right now, Vladimir Putin has a
as long as it
monopoly on
doesn't
the European energy
push out
market
public
because,
healthcare, but the problem
frankly,
is it
the
creates a
Liberals
two-tiered
blocked
system.
exports
Public
of
needs to be
Canadian
the priority,
natural gas
100%.
off the Atlantic coast.
What
They
was his
blocked
question?
multiple projects. I would rapidly approve those projects on national security grounds so that we can actually ship Canadian natural gas
Energy crisis.
over to Europe.
He's being
break
pressured
European
to declare
dependence on
an energy
Putin,
emergency.
defund the war, and turn dollars for dictators back into paychecks for our people.
Mr. Carney, you wanted to add.
Dollars for
I want to go
dictators.
to the situation in Ukraine because it's very important. We've been a
Competition
steadfast.
makes both better.
Canada's
The thing
been a
is, we have the
steadfast
same
ally,
debate
and
in
Canadians
Norway.
have stepped up, welcoming
We don't
Ukrainians
have
into their homes and supporting them in other
The
ways.
problem with our, we don't have enough
my first month
doctors and
as Prime
nurses.
Minister,
It's not a
we
public
joined the coalition
issue,
of
public
the willing,
healthcare issue. It's just we don't have
to
enough.
support Ukraine as the U.S. stepped back.
To
so
support
led
both.
by France, the United Kingdom, with
It's not
Ukraine,
even a
number European
compensation
nations,
issue,
Australia,
like,
ourselves, New Zealand.
There's not
that's an
enough
example of
doctors and
how
nurses.
the new world is going to be. Canada participating in
The
these
problem with the
areas
public and
helping.
private is
it also means
you
open
end
trade.
up being
Mr.
like on a
Poilievre voted
2-year wait
against
list
free
for
trade,
public, but
agreement
if
with
you pay
Ukraine.
money,
Ukraine.
you
It
get in there in
means
a month.
aid for Ukraine. Mr.
That's the
Poilievre wants
problem.
to cut foreign aid, including for Ukraine, or not. He didn't mention support for aid for Ukraine. We have to stand by them.
Pierre keeps saying
We have
like
to be there, and this government
that's
has
not
to.
true. That's not
Just a
true.
sec.
I'm
New
not
Democrats
cutting that. I'm
absolutely
not cutting that.
support,
I'm not cutting
standing
that.
with
How does
Ukraine,
he
and
fund
we'll continue
it?
to do that.
He has not
But
released
I
a
appreciate the
budget.
opportunity in talking about leadership in crisis, talk about many of the crises that we're up against. And one of the crises we're up against in our country with the threat of Donald Trump, with the threat of the trade war, and with the privatization and Americanization of our healthcare system is the healthcare system.
I think
and what we
we
have
should
learned
focus
today,
on recruiting
Mr. Carney
doctors
mentioned
and nurses
slowing
from the
operation
US.
spending. That's a cut to services. He said his plan.
I think we should
he has
offer
a plan
expedited
to balance the operating
visas
budget
to
within 3
American
years. That's going to require massive
or
cuts to spending.
international
We
doctors
calculated
and
that
nurses.
at $43 billion in cuts.
The thing is,
in fact,
healthcare-
Rosemary Barton, when he was on the show on February 16th, he said he would cut spending. He said it would be in operations. He defined
Healthcare
it
is
as
more of a
transfers in
provincial
health.
jurisdiction
And
than it is a
finally,
federal
longtime
one.
Liberal and former House Leader Karina Gould said
It's
that
kind of like a
Mr.
states'
Carney's
rights
plans
issue. The
would mean
healthcare
massive
is more of
cuts.
a
That's the
provincial
only way to achieve it.
jurisdiction,
Mr.
and
Carney,
the federal
you
government
think
has a
it is
hard time
leadership
overriding it.
to cut health care at a time when it is in crisis. I think it is wrong. We can't do that.
We will not cut transfers for healthcare. We will not cut healthcare spending full stop.
But
we'll
Mr.
have
Carney,
a detail, if I may.
Who do we
if I may-
believe, Mr. Carney today, or the one he spoke at on Rosemary Barton's show on February 16th?
I did not.
The one that repeated again that he would cut spending?
If I may,
Who do we believe?
If I may, consistently said we'll preserve all transfers to the provinces, including the increases. We will preserve all the transfers to individuals, I won't detail them all, but they're so we're looking at addressing an operational spend, which is about $150 billion.
Yeah, so I do. This is
we will
like
address that.
not
we will
most
make
of my
it more
games,
efficient,
but
and we will do it in 3
most
years,
of my
and we'll
streams.
balance that
But
budget.
I wanted to
I
watch
am
this.
6 minutes behind Mr. Carney, so I will speak a little bit longer. First, I will support any
But thank
initiative
you.
which will bring Canada
I like being plugged
aligned
in.
with Europe
I
and
want to
NATO
differentiate
in order
our
to be
politics
stronger
from
and facing
the
new
American
threats.
ones.
I believe that 2% won't be enough.
Wages
I'm
will
not
be no
more in
incentive to be a
favor
doctor?
of war than
I mean-
anybody else, but we have responsibilities, and our main ally
I think that we
is
should maybe
removing
offer
himself from the stage. So
educational,
we have
like,
to step up. We have
grant-
to do
we
our
should
part.
probably
I want to go somewhere else entirely, however. I want
do
to
a
ask
training
Mr. Carney.
program, as in
If
like the
we're
government
speaking about
funded
leadership
education
here,
towards new
if
doctors,
Quebec
new nurses.
and Canada
No, very
were
few
to
people want to
say,
study medicine. So
you
maybe
are not
instead
being
of
given a majority
increasing
there will be more
wages,
conservatives than you would
reducing
like,
debt,
maybe more
as in, like,
New
student
Democrats
loans.
than you would like, and more
Quebec guy, this is
people
Quebec
from the
guy.
bloc than you would like.
the Bloc Québécois.
Will you accept, because you don't seem to be very eager about that, to deal with
Yeah,
people
but he
which
said he's a friend of
basically
Quebec
are more
earlier.
experienced than you are, as
He is
legitimate
Quebec guy.
as you are, and would be more representative altogether
Doctor
than
for the
you
money?
would be being alone in your
Yeah.
little kingdom.
It's-
And I
it-
want
it-
also to propose
It's a
to you all
question.
guys that 1 week after the election, 1 week after the election,
But
we all meet.
the
whatever
alternative
the results,
would be
and
that,
we start
like,
dealing
people
with this
want to move to
crisis
Canada.
together, because
People want
this
to
is what
immigrate to
people,
Canada.
either
So
they
the
are
benefit
from
isn't
Alberta or
monetary, it's
Quebec
that
or
they get
wherever,
to move
this
here.
is what people expect
In exchange
from
for-
Mr. Carney, is that something you could get behind?
I look forward to meeting with everyone. You're welcome to come, Steve, if you'd like. Week after crisis, but
That's
also,
not
but
very-
in all
that's
seriousness,
not
no,
very
but
respectful.
No, but I'll
That's
come.
not very
but I'm
respectful.
I'm coming. On peut jaser un peu. Okay, I will.
Okay.
I come to the core.
On jase.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come to the core. Look, in a crisis, yes, you need a team, and you need to bring.
He
the
surprised
country
a lot
along
of people
with
with his French. So Mark Carney's
what I
French is
did
not very good.
In the first week.
Well,
was
comparatively, the other
to
three speak
bring
French
the premiers together.
very well.
Meet with all the indigenous leaders.
80% of my
and
class
move
wanna
forward
want to be
in that
public
context.
servants.
Now, the question is, who's
Yeah.
going to lead out of this? Whoever leads out of this, if I may, Mr. Blanchet, merci, thank you. Whoever's going to lead out of this is going to need to work with all the provinces, work with Labour, work with Indigenous leaders, work with all Canadians to bring them forward in a united front. And if I'll make this last point, one of the things that has happened, which is a credit to those people at home, is that Canadians
I
are
feel
coming
like
together.
Pierre's been
And it's our
signaled to
responsibility
tone it down.
to meet
Because Pierre's
the strength
been
of
much
Canadian
less
unity.
chippy
Still,
in the
I
last
have
like
one
10
small
minutes.
point to make. You will be elected, if you are elected, in the parliament where there are other leaders. I don't know if he called you, or Mr. Poilievre, I don't know if he called you, but before yesterday, you have not spoken to me once, even if I proposed it so many times. But you say I speak to provinces' leaders. You're not elected in provinces.
didn't call
You are in
me?
a parliament where people are to make decisions,
Is he going,
which
"You
might
didn't
not
call
always
me"?
suit you. But this is democracy,
Mr. Blanchet, I'm
which
going to
you
jump
don't
in.
know too much about.
I'm going to jump in here because
I don't
I'm
understand
noticing
that.
what the clock is saying, and you brought up Gaza earlier, and I think
Yes.
our audience would be interested in hearing your views on the other major international crisis facing the
I just
world
want to
right
get,
now.
Mr. Speaker, before we get that, just to finish up on the healthcare, I just want to speak to healthcare workers right now who are deeply worried about the status of our healthcare system, to Canadians who believe and love our universal public healthcare system, to patients
coming?
who are stressed out. If you're worried about
Singh.
which Mr. Carney to believe, the one today or the one who spoke on previous shows and said he would
Mr.
cut,
Singh, I
vote for
think-
New Democrats, and we will fight to defend our
I
healthcare.
think your
we will never
supporters
let
would really
anyone
like
cut
to
it.
hear what you have to say about this question, and we have less than 5 minutes for it here. What role should Canada play in the other major
Oh, you guys,
international
I
crisis
gotta
in
go.
this
I have
world,
to end.
in the Middle East and the war in Gaza? Pierre Poilievre, would you start us off
I
on
wanna
that?
listen to
What
this, and
role
then I have to
can
end
Canada
stream.
play?
Well, first of all, we must condemn Hamas, and more importantly, the terror sponsors in Tehran who initiated the attacks, the horrific attacks of October 7th. We need to defeat the terrorists so that all the peoples of the world can live in peace. And
He
defend
can't
the
say the
right
word
of,
Palestinian.
Palestinians to
Oh,
have
there you go, he said it.
their own lives free from the oppression of Hamas dictators and Iranian intervention, while Israel has the ability to live in freedom and peace. But I also want to say, we need to get back to the Canadian tradition, which is that when people come to this country, they leave foreign conflicts behind. The rampaging riots targeting Jewish communities is utterly unacceptable, and it points to the growing chaos that we see on our streets after 10 years.
This
of
is like talking
incredibly
about
irresponsible liberal policies
so in the
on
U.S.
bleak borders, of dividing people
the
into
protests
groups,
in
of saying
Canada,
one thing
in
to
the
one,
United States, the
group
university
and
protests
the
came to
opposite
Canada.
another, dividing and
Going for
conquering.
years. Rampaging riots. That's what he's talking. He's alluding to the student
so that
protests.
everyone feels
That's
safe,
the rampaging riots that
here,
he's talking
we
about.
put our foreign conflicts behind. And we
That I've like. That's what he's trying to call rampaging riots.
And they care deeply about where they come from, and they should be able to do so. That's a part of being in our country. To have
people
that
don't need to leave their politics behind. People bring their identity
the treatment
here.
of people who provide
yeah,
care
we had tons
and service
of
to people
sit-ins. It
in
was
Gaza
great.
has been disgusting.
I went to the
On
one
top
at
of
UBC.
that, people in Israel and in Palestine deserve to live in peace and security. And Mr. Carney, to date, you've not acknowledged that what's going on in Gaza is now clearly become a genocide. It's important to call things out as they are, and you've not done that.
Yeah, he has not.
We need to work, to go to your question, we need to work with our international partners, maximum pressure, maximum encouragement for an immediate
so
ceasefire.
Slim, he's able.
Encourage the return
The problem
of all
is
of the
he
hostages.
talks, not
Resumption
Mark
of
Carney,
humanitarian
and
aid.
the NDP leader Doug Means saying we'll call it a genocide, but he will not back up the.
With respect to where this
the political
ultimately
speakers
goes.
that are talking
Yes,
online,
two-state solution,
when they get thrown under the bus, he doesn't back up.
Viable and free.
They throw them under the
Palestinian
bus.
State living side by side in peace and security with the state of Israel. I will underscore one other thing. Mr. Poilievre rightly mentioned Iran. The Iranian sponsors in this region. We have to be clear-eyed about the fundamental risks of Iran and do everything with our international partners to check it and turn it.
Mr. Blanchet.
If we are to
Pierre's
work
reaction,
together, we will have to be consistent.
I can't
The
believe
Jewish
Pierre actually said the word
community in
Palestinian.
Quebec
I didn't think he
and
actually
Canada
it looked like
by
he was avoiding it. Shogun, this is live,
minority
yes.
of radical Islamists. And we don't do so much.
The
The
Quebec
law in Canada
Quebec is
says
very
that
secular.
somebody may invite
Very secular.
people
They kind
to
of
be
it's very
violent
anti
to
any
propose
religion.
genocide against another people if they can be hidden behind a religious motivation. They are in agreement with that, they are in agreement with that, they are in agreement with that. And we say it is a crime to invite people to violence and killing other people, and this is what is being done very often in Canada, in Quebec, with the approval of the Criminal Code of Canada. And we are saying this has to be changed. We have to change what we do before we want people elsewhere to change what they do.
Last minute in this segment, Mr. Poilievre.
We'll end after this.
This is about crises and leadership. And one crisis we have is in immigration. Because of this Liberal government's commitment to a radical
I can't get over
policy
his mouth.
called the Century Initiative, which seeks to bring our population up to 100 million people, they have allowed massive overcrowding in our communities. That has caused housing shortages, job shortages.
Blame immigration.
What about 100 million people?
And if I could,
the fact that you did
sorry,
not
I didn't interrupt
housing,
you. I did
you
not
built
interrupt
6
you,
homes,
sir. I did not interrupt you.
Don't blame
I do not blame,
your
if I could.
Let him
He
finish.
can't handle being interrupted
I do
like
not
how he
blame
interrupts
immigrants.
people.
I blame the Liberal government, which brought this policy
He doesn't
on.
blame immigrants. He
And Mr.
blames the
Carney
Liberal
wants to
government
continue with
for
the Century
allowing
Initiative.
immigrants in.
This is crazy. We have to get back to normal levels of immigration, get rid of the fraud in the temporary immigration system, and ensure that the people who come here
And did not have relations with
arrive
yeah.
in numbers that we can house, employ, and care for. That's how it always was, and that's how we're going to restore
Thank
it.
you, Mr. Poilievre.
Honestly,
That is
I
our
can't
time for this
imagine anyone
segment.
wants to sleep with him.
Those
All right,
are-
you guys, I can't. I have to go. I have to go. Unfortunately, I would like to watch the rest of it, but I am unable to. But I hope that was okay to watch. You guys seem. I mean, like, hey, you know what? There we go. We got some Canadian politics in there. I'm just gonna end stream here, but I will see you guys on. I'm gonna be gone for the weekend. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. It's not that I've had enough of politics, but I was supposed to end at like 5:15. You can't buy a vowel. Sold out. You're cut off. No more vowels. No more vowels. Thanks for hanging out. Honestly, YouTube seemed to be enjoying it too, but I had to time out some people as well. We'll end the streams there. But I'm ending. Oh. We'll end with this. Thank you. There you go, Riz. This is the best one. Bye, gamer. In case you have to go to Canada, listen, gamer. It's an immigration process, but I want you here. Oh my God. remix. All right, I'll end the stream after this. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're gonna be ending Baldur's Gate 3 on Wednesday. Okay, bye. Bye YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry I have to go. Bye.